Hello, everyone, and welcome to this match between TeaGrenadier and JasonArilani. This is Group Requiem, and it's winner bracket round 1. And for today's commentary, we have TJ, One Shot, and Slowa the Demon. Welcome, guys.
Hello.
Come on, everybody.
I was told this was going to be the Twilight Princess remake. I was lied to.
The old bait and switch gets him every time.
What, Dr. Wand of Gamelon? Damn. Sad. But yeah, we have the number 1 seed of Requiem versus the number 8 today. Eve versus Jason.
So, real talk. Like, who do you think is going to win this? Like, who are you rooting for?
I'd give Jason the slight edge, but I think this is going to be really close either way.
Yeah, for sure. I definitely.
Personally, I'm rooting for T because, well, T is a good friend of mine. But I think it's going to be a really close match. The whole group was really close to each other in points. But it can go either way, for sure.
Yeah, I mean, for me, like, I mean, again, we had talked about this before. How like all the brackets are pretty close. I think anyone has a shot at winning these. But personally, I do think Jason has a. I do want to root for Jason, not just because he's the underdog technically in this fight, but also just the fact that he's a good friend of mine, and I think he has a good chance at winning this.
The seedings can definitely be a little bit misleading for all of these matches because they really are very evenly matched. TJ and T aren't the same person?
Maybe we are. I'm just playing and commentating. Who knows?
Yo, the dual duty. Let's go.
Commentating our own match.
Clearly, TJ is
we're starting,
and this is actually just a pre-recorded match, and you just didn't know that.
The pseudo vanilla child start, eh?
I love to see it.
Well, let's see what Mido has for us then.
Mike,
we
got Jason. Yeah, it was
Bombchus.
Immediate Bombchus from Mido's nice.
And the shield.
No,
he
no
never buys shields. Yep.
You win this round, you never buy shield.
Yep.
Alright, so nice little Mido's house there, Bombchus and a shield.
Especially the Bombchus are really nice. If they don't find a bomb back in Deku, they can at least clear Lost Woods.
Wow.
So we got Fire Med start and Epona's as well. Epona's is one of the songs that's kind of not the most interesting start.
Rush GTG, anyone?
That's it. It's open. Crush GTG with nothing.
I mean, yeah, you definitely could, but the some problem with that is the fact that we don't really have access to it practically or logically. So I don't necessarily think that's going to be a play.
I wouldn't say it's the best play, but it is a play.
It is a play. Well, it's not quite a play right now.
No, I don't think it's going to be on anyone's radar for the immediate future.
No, not entirely. Even someone like me who's like pretty adamant about doing GTG as soon as possible, because I feel like every time I put it off till I have like better items to do it, like I always end up getting burned by it. Maybe it's just, that's confirmation bias, sure, but I don't know, it just seems like that happens always.
It's a really tough area to route in because having the ability to full clear on your first go is not very often doable. So you risk orphaning a few checks, but being able to get most of it.
Yeah,
I would go there when you find a bow, at least. The bow is just helpful.
Yeah.
Shot loss is not that difficult to perform, so that should not stop you. But not having a bow in GG is just missing 4 checks.
Yeah.
Like, I always hate it. Always feels bad going there without a bow. Like, I can't stress how many times I've had to go there without a bow and find the bow there and be so mad.
Hmm.
So we have a dancing dad,
Frog
nothing, and Froxtu is nothing. Poor T, he really wants Froxtu seat. And he's not getting it today.
Not this time.
All right, what does Deku Tree have for us today? That is the question.
Is it going to be a medallion or a stone even?
Yep, the double Deku makes sense.
Yeah,
Oh,
so
money. That's good for Lost Woods.
that is definitely good. Yeah, I mean the thing is like if that's all we get out of here is and it just ends up being a barren stone Deku. I mean that's at least money is not a bad thing. It's especially good to have early.
Yeah, they need at least 80 for Lost Woods, so it's a good start.
Yeah, for sure.
Now they have bomb twos at least. They can do both scrubs.
Yeah, interested to see how many bomb shoes they got from Mitos.
Yeah, we haven't paused yet. We don't know yet.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see soon enough, though I believe. But I remember like I remember last seed I did. I had like the most loaded Deku tree. I just like I walked in and I had like I walked in with like pretty much nothing and I walked out with like bomb bags, strength, a bow and
Oh,
something else. I forget what it was. It was ridiculous.
zeros, man. This is why the Deku tree is so powerful.
Yeah, there's no way you're skipping Deku unless you find a foolish Deku hint next to Deku.
For sure.
It's like DC, but DC is easier to skip, I guess. Because you at least need a bomb back or choose to clear it. And Deku is just go in.
Go in, get your items, and get out. Not a whole lot to speak of so far in the tree besides some money.
Ooh, a hook shot.
Never mind.
That's helpful.
Hits you every time, you know? Just the sphere zeros.
Yep.
This is why you can't abandon them.
People go to DC, so I've heard. So I've heard.
And a little bit of love. Well, just sorry.
Yeah. Like the one thing I remember is like so back before we had like fast Dampe or I forget what the settings called. Basically where we get to skip the first Dampe race, I would actually skip Dampe. Like as a risk play.
But that makes sense because it's like 50 seconds for one check.
Yeah.
Have to do it again, yeah, so.
Yeah, it's like basically you waste 2 minutes if it's nothing, and if it is something, then well, you know, then you're obviously your 2 minutes are like the only like it was pretty much like basically like it was basically like chickens, right? That's basically how I looked at it. And then we got faster Dampe, and I was like, well, this is not worth doing anymore. So I pretty much stopped doing that.
Hey, don't encourage him, please.
Don't do chickens.
Harry's still throwing. It's pretty good.
Nice B1 skip from T.
Nailing it.
I wonder how nervous these guys are. I remember I was really nervous for my first match.
Oh, yeah, bracket 1v1s are always nerve-wracking. We'll see
It
how long
definitely
it takes
can.
them to settle in a little bit, get the nerves under control.
Especially when it's your first season. It's very or first tournament in general too.
For T, it is its first tournament.
Yeah, it's very easy to just be nervous about it. Like, I mean, technically, my first tournament was the season 1 multi world, but it wasn't too bad for me.
I think a
But
multi-world is different than a 1v1.
yeah, the 1v1 like you have to rely solely on yourself, whereas multi world, you know, it's more than just yourself you have to rely on.
Precisely.
He's sadly missing the one cycle.
Yeah.
Jason has some problems.
Happens.
Yeah, B1 skip can be kind of finicky sometimes.
Yeah, I still struggle with this, even though I do semi consistently get it first try.
Lineup looks decent.
There we go.
Oh, nice.
And then it's Boma
And
down
then
for
Goma's
T.
down.
Yeah, see, it's easy every time. You get it first try every try.
You just have to do it.
It's like they say, 60% of the time you
It
always
works
get.
every time.
There it is. You
All right,
you know
survey
exactly the
says.
quote.
Yep.
It's vanilla.
Vanilla Emerald. All right, well, just a hook shot out from Deku Tree then.
Hook
Well,
shot,
Vitally important.
yeah. Hook
I
shot
take the
is
hook shot.
definitely like if there was one item I would have to only find like only one item I could find in a basically barren location. Hookshot would be the one thing I would want to see because that unlocks so many things. Like
Hook shot or bomb back.
Yep, hook
But
shot.
we have choose,
early
so
game items.
yeah,
Skull Mask is dead, looks like.
yeah. That's what I was gonna say. Like that's why I was saying hookshot because hookshot is like that's not really replaceable. Whereas bomb bag you can kind of cheese with
That's
bomb
fair.
shoes.
That's
So
definitely fair, yeah. Although being able to save scum efficiently, the bomb choose is a little tricky sometimes, depending on how many you get.
yeah, that's true. I
we don't know
disagree.
yet how many choose there are chuckles. They haven't paused yet. Ooh, Roars
Ooh,
went.
Roars. Always love to see Roars.
So 2 hours no magic. Let's go.
Like
Well,
that's
yeah, that seems to always be the way when you
I,
get early for Roars.
20.
Oh,
Ooh.
it's a 20 pack.
that's the best fun you can possibly get.
That's great. That's
That
going
is
to make save scumming really a non-issue. You have enough bomb shoots to level all of Hyrule with that.
Hyrule, DC, DMT,
yeah.
Lost Wood.
That's definitely the best thing about getting the 20 pack as your first pack because it's like you get to be kind of greedy with it.
Yeah, you don't have to really think about, oh, I have to be careful, save scum, what can I check, and then reset. No, you can just do whatever you want. You will find a bomb bag soon anyway. Well, probably soon.
You at least hope you'll find one soon. Whether it's one out of logic or in logic.
And Lord knows the game loves to place bomb lock bomb backs.
Yeah. I had one. Not like yeah the last seed I did last time. Like yeah, I also had a bomb bag. It
A really
was
convenient place for that slingshot too.
that is a nice
They-
sling. I can't hate it.
Yeah, that means they only orphan skull kit, which is sad, because now you only have one check and Lost Woods remaining.
I guess he'll be playing Saria song by himself.
Or they just get Saria from Saria and they can go back.
That's true. Vanilla Sarias would not be bad, but I mean, obviously, since we know Dancing Dad is dead, not really that helpful, unfortunately.
But the sun is also dead. More choose.
More shoes.
Okay, explosives locked explosives. We
You
take
really
those.
don't need a bomb back now. 30 choose is plenty.
I mean, I don't know. Like, I don't think 30 cheese is going to get us through every explosive check. Because
It brings you really far.
it does take you pretty far, but you still have to use them sparingly.
Clever. You don't really need to worry about conserving too many bomb shoes. I guess going through DC with nothing but shoes would lower that total quite a bit.
Oh, I
Yeah,
know that he can do the ice with the choose, so he can do that and then save, do the rest,
Yep.
and then save scum if needed.
Yep, definitely.
Yeah. At this point, I would say I really would hope that I don't have to do ice if these are pretty much the only explosives I'm gonna see for a good while.
Wait until
Yeah.
Jensen's on bowling. I mean, that's another possibility. Yeah.
Don't remind me of that qual, Shinja. We both did terrible there. Imagine skipping Child Spirit with the bomb back.
It happens. But we do see a bit of like divergence here.
Nah, Jason is just following along.
Yeah.
No, I mean, I said divergent. I mean, it's like hopefully we see a bit of a divergence. Is what I meant to say.
Yeah, I assume they go to Lon Lon after this at least, and then maybe one goes to Valley Lake and the other one goes Adult.
Yeah, they're probably going to be following each other till after Lon Lon. That would make the most sense. Get those early songs.
Yeah, I mean that's always going to be the play. You're always going to go straight for the first two songs, like, and then
Bolero.
So Bolero's not bad. Like, so Bolero, Hookshot, like, maybe I'm just a greedy player here, but I definitely would say, oh, the Meadow is Requiem.
Requiem. Okay.
But yeah, maybe I'm just a greedy player here, but I'd probably go do Market and then go Adult, to be honest.
I'd probably do the same. You have a lot of checks that you can do as adult. You can get 2 free songs now that you have Bolero and you know where Requiem is. You can get
Shadow.
Shadow Waf, and you can get the Windmill song. There's a lot of movement options as adult.
Oh, you'll hate to see Kokiri Forest. After you cleared Kokiri Forest.
I mean, we don't have to worry about the Storms Grotto now, so.
That's true. That's one whole check into that, and we still got bomb shoes from that, so.
Yeah, true. 20 pack even. I like to do Valley Lake as child one. And then, since you have choose, you can, from Lon Lon, you can peak Tektite, go to Valley. And then Lake, you can do the other 2 checks that are bomb locked there. And open Grotto. And then maybe walk back to the Owl or walk to Market from there.
Sure.
That's what I like to do.
So we
Or
see
Child Coral City.
Yeah, that was it too. Or let's say T go into Chalkborn side. I don't necessarily think this is the correct placing that we don't have ZL. Not really much we can do here.
Yeah, it's the Hot Rudder and the Maze.
At the very least, could be useful for adult to get out from the Bolero check and head into the forest.
That's true.
And you know that Requiem's there. So, at the very least, setting up the shortcuts, pretty good. Doing the maze now is fine.
Yeah. Doing the maze is okay, I think. I would much prefer to do this as adult, because maybe if I find hover boots, I can also check the left side maze.
True.
Or you just find the hammer here. Let's go hammer. Almost a hammer.
No hammer.
A wallet and treasure chest.
So, yeah, nothing here, but can get another skull here. Okay, that's another good play.
You can get the skull, and chat pointing out getting Hot Rodder here now too, so you don't have to hard orphan it later. We know
you still hard orphaned the pot though, so.
Yeah, the pot's the biggest thing. We know Daruni is dead, so really just the Child Goron City is full cleared without minus the pot, so that's still pretty good.
Yeah. And so we also know chess game is a wallet. So that could be theoretically useful when we find magic. Because we could just buy more choose from the, if we once we get.
He is doing it too early.
Hit it too early. It happens.
There we go.
Iron Boot.
Out of logic. Instantly rewarded. So now we are seeing a bit of divergence now, because T is probably going to leave out of Goron City here. And probably
check DMT, and then on top of the DC and then into CAC. And then probably from there to Lon Lon.
They
might screw his time of day.
Yeah, doing this might fork time of day a little bit for Ranch. It's going to be a little close.
Yeah, the one thing with this is a lot of runners, a lot of people don't realize is that Deku Tree actually sets your time of day to basically almost to nightfall. So
Isn't it noon?
it puts it a lot closer than you start with, is what I guess what I was trying to say.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
a
I
lot
think you
later.
start normally at 10, and Deku puts it at noon.
Yeah, so it's like,
It makes time of day routing a bit more awkward, kind of like after you get Requiem, the Requiem song.
yeah.
It reset.
Ooh,
I missed the
strength.
strength. Yeah, I missed the strength at the top there. Oh no, you just went for a blind. What I'm talking about. That's really good though.
Yeah, it's the fastest way down, so why wouldn't you make the jump?
Yeah, why not? Well, because it's like you still have to struggle with the bomb flower. So
These are nice finds coming out from T on his way down from Goron City, getting Iron Boots out of Logic and now finding Strength as well.
yeah, for sure. Like I mean, so if I was T, I think I like. Yeah, okay. I think he's going back. He's
Yeah,
gonna
put
wait for
time of day for
nightfall.
Denpei.
Yeah, I was about to say I'd do that plus get some skulls. Because it seems like T's going for a skull play. I think that's why he routed in Goron City as early as he did.
Yeah, this is going to be a bit awkward because at some point T is going to have to wait for time of day to either get to ranch or go to. Take that, Malin. To wait for time of day for either ranch or to go adult. So yeah, T can hike. This is true. Go to Valley Lake maybe to try and reset time of day and take the owl back.
Yeah. Clearly, Jason was just setting up for a death ward.
That's what you get for giving us Song of Time. Yeah, not the best song we could be getting from Malin here.
Yeah, I mean, so the thing is like, I think "Song of Time" is one of those songs that are like very secretly underrated, especially for the Scrubs tournament, because of the simple fact that it does a lot more than people realize.
Oh, for
You know,
sure. Song of Time's not useless by any means. It's just it's not a song you want to get early because its use is more so. It's more useful towards the later stages of the game.
right? I mean, so the thing is like we can also do. So if we know how to do reverse wasteland, which I know Jason does.
He
I'm
knows
sure
as well.
T, yeah, I'm sure T knows as well. Oh, what was that hint? I missed
That was
that.
a
DMT
trail
way of the
bomb.
hero.
That was probably for that
Strength?
strength. That's probably
Strength
that
so
strength, yeah.
far. Yep, the strength so far.
So with the fact that we have Requiem pretty early, we have hook shot, we have bomb trees. I know we had joked about it before, but GZG does seem like a pretty decent play.
I still want a bow before I go there, though.
Yeah, right, leaving behind 8 checks without having bow and strength 2 is a little awkward. I think the bow would probably be the best item to go there because then now you can do Epona's checks, you can do all the bow lock stuff, and then you can leave everything. You can do everything except the strength 2 block. So
Yeah, but you could easily also find a bow there as well, which
true.
I've done
Yeah.
that quite a few times.
Jason doing the route I usually take. Clear out field, go valley, into lake from Lon Lon.
The old
Oh yeah,
South
they can also
Hyrule
do.
play.
Someone pointed out that Jason could also do toilet.
No, he has no iron boots.
Oh yeah, that's right. But they can
Yeah.
technically
Combined, they can do toilet.
Yeah, they're
Yep.
both missing something. I forgot that. It is also interesting to see T is
Ooh.
clearing out Kakriko here.
The
Scale might be helpful.
Grotto as child with a scale that definitely makes hiking a lot more attractive. So you could go straight into domain and river as after you're done.
Go
Song
Rich.
of
Yeah.
Time was on Malin.
Malin. Which got bombed by Jason. Nuts on Denpei.
Ampe giving us his nuts is very concerning as a child.
Monka
But,
TOS.
See if
but
the valley plays out for Jason.
I'm hoping it does. That I know the best thing here too is the fact that if Jason misses up and does not grab the chicken, which he did. I know he knows how to do the backup, so
The
I'd
recoil
love to
grab.
see that recoil. That recoil is awesome.
yeah,
It
it's
is.
really cool when you pull it off when you mess up.
Although one heart is a bit concerning.
I mean, you could just pick up the recovery heart he had there.
True,
That
true.
would have been fine. I missed what was in the.
Couldn't see
Couldn't
what
see
the
it.
waterfall was. Whoa!
Okay, well, you know,
That's
screw
a
my play.
powerful hint.
Screw
Oh,
my play. You know, like, see, this is why I'm gonna go 0-2 in my brackets. You know, I'm gonna do this, and then someone's gonna find a GGG Baron.
I mean, how often is GTG hinted Baron? To be fair.
That's true. But
Yikes! All right,
knowing
well
my luck, it probably happened.
that's a crisp dead 13 checks in Valley. I'd like to point out as well. So thanks, game. Up and there's ZL.
Okay, well, having Bolero really helps. So
No
all the more
shots
reason.
out.
That's
Yeah.
the adult routing is going to be really crisp here. Play Bolero, get ZL, and take the shortcut into adult CAC. And hello,
Strength
strength 2.
2. It's nice. Add a logic strength 2.
Jeez.
Wait, did Jason not check that?
No, but you will check that when you go in, before you go into market. Ooh, back of lake.
Speaking of market.
Speaking of market.
All right, so that's strength 2 immediately with a hinted dead GTG. Although T doesn't know that yet, but it looks like he's going to because it's going to be heading into the valley here.
So, looking at this logically, that I think that means that there's a strength that is strength locks bomb back.
Probably bomb back in DC then.
Yeah, it probably means there's a little bit of infringement out of bomb back.
Or it unlocks a hammer. Also
Or yeah,
awesome.
or it's hammer. That is true. I didn't think about that.
Ooh, he's skipping Valley.
So I really do hope the runners are thinking about
Ooh.
the logic. in that
Oh,
regard.
looking at the time of day, wants to go straight into ranch now. Maybe, it's gonna be awkward to route in Valley after this. I have to backtrack to do it.
I'm gonna guess he's going market after this.
Yeah,
Like you said,
that would
it's
make
really
sense.
awkward to go to Valley after this.
Potentially missing out on that GTG Baron could be huge.
It will just be a Temple of Time as well.
Well,
It's
yeah,
fine.
that's certainly possible.
Oh, come on, Talon. That's 2. Oh, nice.
Out on fishing.
Hoverboard.
Wow.
Ooh. That's gonna hurt probably. Shadow Wave the hero, hoverboard there.
Yeah, shoutouts to hiking in this scene. Man, it's paying off huge. Both in intel and in just progression. Also nice, yeah, Trap pointing out nice steel stick strats from T's side. It's like a gold rupee there at the diving, at the bottle.
That was a gold rupee. Jason checking the rest of fields.
Yeah, no scale from Jason's side yet, so domain and river not an option, at least from this entrance. Yeah, there are a lot of options in Adult 1. This has been a very lucrative Child 1.
I think if T decides to go to Valley Lake, he will be back at market when it's day again.
Probably not. Although you do have a couple options to kill time of day. You can do the back of Lake Hint.
It just got day, so he probably reaches Valley by night. You do Valley while it is night.
And looks like he's heading that direction.
We know it's going to be helpful for him.
And a Zora Tunic.
Hover Boots and the GG Baron Hint really going to be helpful.
River Chest is dead as well.
Oh, no Song of Time for that.
Nope.
No Song of Time for GTG. So Song of Time is useless. Or will we see a bow in Forest Temple locked behind Song of Time? That would be cool. And cruel.
I don't believe we have a Sungrave Hint yet, no.
We have a Shoot the Sun.
Yes.
A Sungrave is not Song of Time. Jason going for the owl now.
Hopefully gonna do the Bold on his way into market. That would be his first strength upgrade.
Hope he does check that. Not doing the boulder? Or just money in them? Well, probably boulder when you're an adult.
Yeah, you can do it as adult straight out of Temple of Time too, and then warp away. The temptation would be to just pull the sword from the pedestal and immediately play Bolero though, which would be problematic.
BTG. Foolish
There's
for
a
T.
BTG hint.
Oh.
Uh-oh.
Ah, this is good. Now he swims towards the boulder, checks the boulder. Hopefully he makes time of day.
The intentional dunk strats.
This is all calculated. Now close to night as well, so we can do Richard.
Yeah, time of day looks good, so we'll be able to get back in. Another Shadow Temple hint.
Well, T is going for fishing. And Scarecrow. I wonder if he goes into Domain or takes the field hike.
I think that would make a lot of sense. At least going down the river would help fix time of day now that it just turned night. Yeah, we have not seen Domain yet, but Domain River I think would be a pretty good play here as well. It will extend the child child one portion as well, which has already paid off pretty well.
Get a bean maybe for Colossus as well.
Nailed it.
Actually, a long child one from both of the runners.
Yeah, very thorough. D about to pick up his hover boots here as well.
The other strength was on top of DC, and Iris is the hot rudder. So Jason will get the other strengths. Iron Boots is a little bit more difficult.
Yeah, Irons is going to elude Jason for a little bit.
Come on, Fishy. Good fish.
Fish is not cooperating. So for all the talks about not needing a bomb bag, we do have a market waft with treasure chest game being hinted dead. And
oh
no.
Jason missing. Okay, at least getting a free retry.
Take two.
Take 3 for fishing. There we go.
There we go. Fish on the hook.
Yeah, everybody hates slingshot game. Sucks.
Slingshot mini game. There we go. First try. That's not it. So we have between Bombchu Bowling, Richard, and Hose for those checks for market. And there's T's hovers. Temple of Time hits. Wasteland dead. Ocarina of Time is Storm. Well, you hate to see it.
Well, we know one Storm's check is dead, but we have another one that's in a way of a hero location.
Yep. Granted, we do have strength in Trail.
Storms is just I hate Storms on AD.
Storms is scary. Storms is really scary. We already have one Storm check in a hinted WAF area, albeit possibly resolved. But the well by itself, whether it's hinted or not, is so check dense.
It's 12 items. No, 12 checks, 3 keys. So 9 items or something.
Well has 11 items.
Yeah, so 14 checks, 3 keys.
Water. Alright, so medallion time. Water's our light med. Jabu's our forest med. Ugh.
Fire temple.
Spirit.
Okay, strength 2 is required.
And forest. Waft shadow is a stone.
Of course, that's a classic.
Stone shadow finds
Stone
its
shadow
way.
found a way.
Always
Wow,
does, isn't it?
Look at that stone layout. Deku, DC, and Watt Shadow. You almost have to do all dungeons with this.
You might as well just go for it, because DC is clearable with the choose. Shadow is Wath. Why not go for it?
And by the logic, like, I'm pretty sure Hammer or Bomb Bag has to be in DC.
Or in DMC.
That's true.
Yeah, we know that Wath's strength somehow unlocks that second strength upgrade for it to be Wath.
Or Adult CAC, that's also a possibility. Goron City.
Goron City Wath, that's a huge hint to get for Jason later on.
Ooh, the bow!
And a bow!
Did Jason skip that? Yeah.
This remote?
He skipped remote, he only did open. He getting paid out by the hike.
Opting not to go to domain, instead hike through the rest of field, getting a Goron City hint and a bow for his troubles. T's Child 1 is killing it. This has been extremely lucrative.
Well, yeah, the Goron City waved hero, if Jason finds it, and he will direct him back towards that, so he will find the Iron Boot most likely. Maybe T will wait for night here for Richard. Now it's too early in the day.
Yeah, that would be a bit of a long wait. I would imagine that doing it in Child 2, maybe setting up time of day at OGC, or if you don't get suns, that is. Still haven't found that market waffle. Yeah, that's a good point. T deciding to fix time of day by going to remote.
Hello, Andrew.
Arrows, Andrew. Thanks.
Why do you have those arrows?
Hey, it's just the one less thing we had to find in the late game.
Ganon really hit him well today, I guess.
For real though. He just walked up to Andrew and said, "Hey, hold on to these for me." For like 7 years.
Yeah, be a friend and don't give these to Link, please. Amazing. Ganondorf thrust kicking lady. Undercover Sheikah.
No, he's not gonna wait, is he? He is gonna wait. Castle 2, hint 10.
Yeah, I mean, maybe go to the second castle, hint to fixed time of day. It's already starting to turn to dusk.
But that makes your adult routing weird. Because you
It
will not.
does. Yeah, it's going to be.
Well, if you beat DC, it's noon again. So
Yeah,
that fixes
probably
it.
playing Bolero straight out of adult instead of walking across like Jason did would make the most sense to try and fix
Yeah,
time of
like
day there.
Hades says, Bolero, DC, into CAC. That makes a lot of sense. Jabu, Ooh, that's a
Jabu
strong hit.
Moth.
Ooh.
Yeah, T going for this was, I don't think necessarily was required, but it's still definitely
That's a
it
really
pays off. Yeah,
powerful hint in a really bad location.
yeah it depends on where the second one is. I mean, that could pay off for T. That could, very well not. It's hard to say, but I mean, either way, we're still basically 2 items away from being able to actually do that because realistically, we still need Boomerang.
Probably, yeah. Tough to say when
Um,
we have to do Jabu, but you would prioritize it more. Like Jabu is one of those things unless you get the items, you don't necessarily rush to go back child to do Jabu.
So
yeah,
it was
no,
not Richard.
Now you do, and it's not Richard, so that leaves Pose and
Oh, 1 in 32.
nope, maybe.
did T
Let's
not get the
go,
hint for
T.
this?
Yeah,
Uh,
she's got the hand for this.
it's hinted. Yeah, it's.
I mean, I admire the attempt. I admire the attempt.
Well, it wasn't hinted foolish, and also was a wallet.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is like, despite this, like we can know this wallet is not Wath. Like, so this
Right.
wallet is strictly just because you want it. So I don't
It's
really.
helpful, if you're not
Imagine if you
really
got it though.
confident.
Going for the stream value. I appreciate that.
If you're not really confident with your fire with 5 hearts,
Hmm.
wallet gives you fire to Gordon Tunic.
It's definitely helpful. Yeah. I mean, why not take a shot at it? See how it goes. It is in fact storms, correct? So Jason heading up, about to get his strength 2 from the top of DC.
It's
Again,
hard to get it though, because will you walk up DMT, jump down into DC, or will you do Gordon City first as an adult before going into DC?
I imagine he'll just jump down and do it because Goron City's pretty quick to get to with Bolero.
True.
Yeah, Watt Stone Shadow and DC is our last stone. I mean, I don't think committing to AED is going to be a very difficult question for these guys on this race.
You know what would be awesome with the Jabba Way of the Hero if it is for Rang in the first chat?
Oh, Vanilla Rang.
That would be awesome.
Oh, that'd be
And cruel.
gross.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and cruel, but it's awesome. Just arrows.
That's
Piece of
Silver's
heart.
Jason.
And for CL?
Salted Zelda's Lullaby. Didn't look like anything on top of the crater there or on the wall.
No, the wall were arrows, and on top was either a blue pea or a piece of heart.
Okay. So where was the bow and iron Jason missing? Irons is on Hot Rodder, which T did with Bomb Shoes, and the bow is in Remote Grotto, which Jason skipped.
Because he wanted to take the owl to reach market on time.
Yep. Time of day being Jason's biggest enemy in that decision.
I mean, he could have done it as an adult. I don't understand why he didn't go ahead and just do it then.
It's a really isolated check at this point. It's going to the biggest thing would be trying to find another bow, I think.
That's fair.
Well, you can do it when he goes for Epona, but why would you go with big Epona?
That direction.
The other problem with that is, can we talk as we talked about, like the strength was way the hero, or at least we believe it's way the hero, right?
Mm-hmm. And if for it to be wave the hero, it most likely locks the second strength in Bulldog.
and the bow. So like that means it theoretically it means it has to lock all 3 bows, right? Because
For it to
or
be
if
full
it's in
bow,
DMC. Yeah. It
yeah.
has to lock all 3 bows if it's in DMC. And then it has to, and if it's not in DMC, then it's in DC. Then the bomb bag is in DC. So
There are only 2 checks left for Goron City Wave Hero if it's not the Iron Box. Well, it is the Iron Box. We know that for sure. Rock bottle is required.
yeah,
Because the maze,
Left side
maze got
yeah.
hinted.
Yeah, so the irons isn't too big of a deal, provided that Jason finds the Goron City hint.
It is in the grotto in DMC, so he will find it.
Okay. Yeah, so that's not too big of a deal at this point. And plus, they know that Daruni is dead.
Yeah, Daruni is dead, left side maze is dead, so it's either the pot or Link to Goron. If it's not the... Ooh, Fire Dip. Interesting.
Seeing if you're hammer locked, might as well, since you're here, play Bolero on the way out and continue along. The afterlife dip.
like I mean, like the thing is like at this point, I was like saying that myself. I was like, can we just call this the afterlife chest? Because it was like basically the game-winning check for afterlife.
I hard last location that scene. It's not even a question in my mind. Not hammer locked.
Yeah, it was just like that was an insane grab. Like
I also remember in the Sonic Pichu match, it was Hoverzer, which locked the seat completely.
Yeah, maybe a bit of recency bias coming into play here, deciding not to get burned by the first check of fire this time.
And a bow in
Oh!
DC bailed out there a little bit, but
Well, I mean, the odds of all of the other 2 bows being locked by the first is pretty slim.
all right, well, so now like technically that strength could be Wath for DC, so you can grab that bow, and I don't think there was a bomb bag in.
That would then mean that either the first bomb bag or hammer is locked by the bow.
Yeah.
in archery, Forest Temple, because they can clear forest now.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's
yeah,
that's
not
Forest
logical,
Temple
because
are
have no Syria yet. Or Minimats.
Well, yeah, it's true. We've seen most of our song locations already that we have logical access to.
Not key locked in fire even. But yet deciding to leave.
Yeah, deciding not to pursue this one any further. Going deeper into fire without hammer now is a pretty big commitment when the boss key could just be in the beginning loop. So that was a whole lot of 0 items coming in from the fire dip. You hate to see it.
Well, they have to clear fire anyway, so it's not that bad because you can just skip the lava room now anyway.
True. Force access is probably in Composer's Grave. Oh yeah, that's right. Jason didn't have ZL when he went to CAC, so no Composer's Grave check yet. Good point. Probably in there.
Would be awesome if it's behind Jabu though.
Could be behind Jabu, yeah. They do have a scale, but that's also not Magigate either.
Where was the scale again?
Scale was CAC redeads.
Oh yeah, no hammer or no bombs.
And the lack of a logical bomb bag or any ways to break those grottos open, making the logic a
Look at
little
that.
fuzzy.
Look at the bow from T. Peach colored.
Shoutouts to the customized colors on the equipment. Pretty good.
Yeah, that's a Roman branch for having that. Bomb? Oh my.
What?
That's a logic.
That's in logic with strength,
Well, and the bow from DC.
which was strength locked.
That might actually put Jason away from Iron Boots.
Yeah. Oh, that's awkward. So that's the logical explosives, which lock strength too.
The scale and basically everything. We're in
Scale,
logic now.
yeah. Yes, we're back in logic.
Yeah, we're straight
That-
back in logic.
That also
yeah.
that also is a likely likely means that they'll be able to get the Wathen market off of Bombchu Bowling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
T
Now
won't
that
know
it
that.
goes.
Yeah. So T won't know that we're back in logic until they find the boa here in DC, but
Right.
Well, isn't
they
Link
just
the
need
Goron
strength.
logic with strength? Or is that a trick? Because it's
I
annoying.
believe Link the Goron's just in logic with strength. I believe that's all you need. It's annoying, but it's in logic.
Then he knows he's in logic.
Strength is enough for Link the Goron. Thanks,
Yeah,
Al.
then he's back in logic right now.
Yep. And that puts everything back. The bows, the strength 2,
The scale,
scale. Yeah,
Iron
and
Boots.
that's irons. Yep, that's a lot of items locked behind that.
So DC had nothing besides the bow.
Great for Jason, a little less useful for T.
Well, it's fast. And
I mean, yeah, you
that
do DC here, 100%.
I assume T after this is going to force because it's required anyway.
Yeah, I imagine we're not too far removed from Double Forest, because it looks like Jason's heading up back into Goron City now.
I assume T goes into CAC first. Then
Yes.
maybe up the river, and then dive in.
Forest is currently not in logic yet, but we know there's still one more song outstanding in the composer's grave.
It can even be in ice if you find Buddha's letter somewhere. The logical
Yeah.
access.
True. Yo, shout out to the double banana tunics. Let's go.
Is T really yellow?
Like a palish. Not as profound as Jason's. Mustard, the flavor for the day.
Jason not having the hint yet for the left side of the maze.
No, but without being able to do right side initially, might as well since you're here, right? Nothing really lost.
He's got to save some juice, but he will find a bomb back soon anyway. He doesn't even know it's waved hero yet, does he? No.
Not yet, no. So that could really point away from the irons on Hot Rodder. Both rolling Gorons having WAP items this seed, by the way. You don't see that every day. I do like the efficiency of the routing that T's done so far, because it's a little bit more awkward to get ZL from here and then go back into CAC to get Composer's Grave from Jason's side, but T was able to go from the crater and work his way up. And wow, how did that miss?
Link the Goron is just a bitch sometimes.
Just rolling through the explosion, man. But yeah, being able to full clear adult CAC after DC, getting all of the songs, and probably going straight into Forest after that. There you go. That's more like a Link to go on. They are teasing us with the jet seat. I don't get it. Don't explain it to me.
It's not a jet till we're in go mode.
Storm's on AD. This is there's still a lot left to be seen.
Could we add the Iron Boot for the Way of the Hero in Coron City as well? For the bot. Nah, it's definitely more than one. It's not that much bullshit. This
Storm's on
seed is
AD
so
with a
nice so
hard
far.
zone dungeon. That's still a lot of dungeons they need to complete. 1%, eh?
Well, so far it's pretty linear. It's not that bad.
So there's the elf from Jason's side, opting not to go into fire yet. Bouncy bombs for stream value. You'd love to see it. Yeah, I mean, it's not a foregone conclusion that they'll decide to full clear Shadow depending on what's in there.
It really depends on how far are you in the seed, how many items do you miss. Because if you like miss 2 items and you have Jabu and Shadow left, you bail after you find your first item in Shadow.
Conversely, if you find Mirror Shield for Azir-Wath in Shadow, which unlocks very little, you decide to full clear for Storm.
Also depends where you find it, because if you find it in the back of Shadow, or like on the Floor Master or in the boss key room,
Yeah,
it's really that bad to go to Bongo. But if you find it in like the first chest or the second chest,
there are a lot of factors to consider. Not even close. All right, there's the Goron City hint that Jason found now. So knows that it's bombed so far, but we'll see how quickly he wants to go to Child Goron City. The classic getting the a check that's hinted dead immediately after you do it.
rank 3.
What?
What?
The bow was locked by 1 strength.
And that makes that strength Way of the Hero, because it blocks the other 2.
Right, so that checks out.
It doesn't mean strength 3 is going to be required. The
No.
strength both is
Nah.
fulfilled at the moment.
No,
I mean, the thing is like
confirmed.
Yeah, it doesn't mean it's going to be required, but it also doesn't mean it's not required.
Oh, it's really handy to have and really helpful to have it
Yeah.
early. But the strength Way of the Hero is fulfilled by the other 2 being strength locked.
Yeah, and to note too, it's only 4 medallions for the bridge, and they'll be able to immediately upon going into Ganon's be able to do almost all of it just with the items they have now. That is a lot of checks.
That's 9 checks locked behind strength 3.
I believe it's 8.
No, and outside Ganon's castle.
Oh, and OGC, yes, yeah.
And it costs nothing.
Oh, sub 1 hour gold. Yeah, I know, that's a rarity. Also does confirm the Trail Wath for strength, which is a sigh of relief for anybody who doesn't want to do all dungeons today.
Jason standing still for a moment.
Looks like updating the hints on his side and intel before heading into the Lost Woods.
Oh, we have Sunsong as well now. Where was Sunsong? I missed Sunsong.
That was in the windmill.
Right.
Alright, Mito skip time.
First
Nicely
try.
done. Dialing on Mito first try. You love to see it.
And more juice.
Just what we needed, more explosives. It's a feast or famine when it comes to Zooter, dude. Either you never get explosives for 3 hours, or the game just hands you a million of them.
Why don't we just blow up Ganon's castle?
It's not a bad idea, honestly. We have the resources. Was the bomb bag really Watt this seed? I would like to remind you that there's a 2/3 chance of a Watt item being on Bombchu Bowling.
Well, the bombs are for Goron City, so
For sure, but like you're able to do most of this with bomb juice. But the
yeah,
only thing that you
absolutely.
need bomb bag for is still potentially waff. There's our Requiem.
Nobody ever got bitten by Bombchu Bowling.
Never in the history of Zooter.
No. Didn't happen. Not
Oh, it's Nocturne. It's not forest access.
Oh, it's Ice, Burning Cack, or Jabu. Or no, it can be in desert.
Well, one of the two songs could be, but not the logical access.
Interesting.
All right. Well, we all thought that we would find Minuet or Sarius here. We were wrong. The 2/3 chance of that being locked behind Jabu, it's actually confirmed locked behind Rudos. So no.
Yeah, or we find magic now, and then we can cross the desert to get Sarias there.
Yeah, that's a good point. That's a good point.
Oh, that will be cruel. Having to cross the desert to get Minuet or Sarias to get your Requiem.
To get and then immediately find Requiem to get. Oh god, that's awful.
Not that anybody cares of these runners that forces out logic. They can do it, they will do it. You have to clear it anyway.
For sure, yeah. I mean, this is something that they have to do, whether they like it or not. They have to beat Forest, and they're able to full clear it now. Might as well. But the fact that this is later in logic than we're in right now, not super hopeful we'll find something useful in here.
It removes a lot of items that you can find.
Right, exactly. Oh yeah, for sure. You do it. I'm 100%. Like if you're able to do it, there's no question. It's just you'd love to find more items along the way, and it's less likely now. Not impossible, just a little less likely.
You could almost just say that Forest will not have Rudo's letter. That's just.
That's pretty. Rudo's being here is very unlikely.
If Rudos is here, it means that you have to cross the desert logically with lens and magic.
Yep.
And stats we find
stick upgrade. And before Goron Pod has magic. I mean, look, God City's been pretty stacked thus far. First logical bomb bag and irons.
Actually been thinking that Jabu Wave the hero is going to be for magic because somebody in chat said it. And then deep in Shadow you will find the rank to go back. And of course, magic 2 in Shadow as well.
Oh, that's gross. Did we see adults?
We have not seen Save Warp yet.
No.
Not yet. And also hello to NNHQ. Slingshot, let's go.
Even more seeds.
I like this play from T, going up to river into forest.
Interesting deciding to do this over Valero. I guess you can get the river deck along the way too.
Yeah, he did everything in DMC and DMT he can do. So this is actually new information. Also, 3 hit zone.
Yeah, no, I like it. Getting the river checks, getting some more intel.
Even though we only miss 1 foolish hint, I think we have to rest.
Yes, we do. Kokiri and GTG.
And the Wasp Shadow, DMT, Goron City, Market, and Jabu.
Yep, so we have all our wasps. We're only missing 1 foolish.
And I think we have 6 sometimes hints. Maybe 7.
I believe we're up to 6. We know what OT is. We know Skullmask is dead. A lot of intel so far.
30 is also dead.
30's dead, yep.
OGC foolish. Thanks, game.
Nice. You see two opposite ends of the spectrum with how powerful Barons can be. On one hand, GTG. On the other hand, OGC.
Pretty much.
At least Wasteland was a sometimes hint.
That's nice. Yeah, that is pretty nice to have.
It would be more cruel if you have Wasteland, OGC, and Hyrule Castle.
three checks, 3 Baron hits.
I've seen it happen.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that Baron being more useful than it usually is because we have access to all 3 strengths. Not that it's super out of the way to get to, but you don't have to do it now. Dean nailing Mido skip after a readjustment there. Love to see it. Oh, we found the winner. We found winner. Oh, I missed it. Must be enforced.
At least something is enforced.
Yeah, Chuckles, I do too. It's definitely a lot more thorough. Get a couple more checks and intel along the way instead of just going through the shortcut, going through areas you've already completed. Gale paying off pretty big since got that out of logic and CAC. I don't believe Jason has yet.
Jason hasn't done what yet? Sorry?
Redead, CAC redeads for skill?
No, and also not adult archery. He went up to DMT after.
That's right, went up to DMT, yeah. All right, everyone's favorite event, Double Forest. You'll love to see it.
Absolutely.
How's everybody doing today? We got some time to kill.
Yep. I mean, so the thing is, like, I know you guys were noting on the fact that OGC is not really that useful. I mean, the thing is like, in this particular seed, and most times, yes, OGC is bad, but I think in this particular seed, seeing OGC is actually very useful. Especially the fact that we found Strength 3 so early, so that just takes it out of our mind that we need it for that, right? Which is also another. I mean, sure, we have like half of Ganon's castle is still locked behind gold, so there's still possibility, but.
And also having Suns makes it so that you don't need to cheese time a day with going to OGC either. You don't really have to go into that entire area till Castle. So it's not useless, no. Not at all.
So, yeah, in this particular situation, I would be very happy to see OGC. Like other points, I'd be like, oh, thanks, game. When I'm sitting here on Strength 1 and like I don't care about OGC at this point,
For sure. Yeah, Strength 3 was on CAC Archery. So we had the one in Trail, one outside the boulder, or in the boulder outside Hyrule Castle, and then the third on CAC Archery. 2 of those strengths being blocked behind Strength 1 logically. If Sarius is in Desert, we're in Logic, right? No, we would need to logically be able to cross for Sarius to be in Logic, since Requiem was here in SFM, where Magic and yeah, we're just Magic away, right? From being
we're just Magic. We need Magic, and then we can cross the desert. But so the thing is like if we find Magic here in Forest, then it's not actually the logical, because. Well, as far as I know, we don't have Minuet.
Right,
so.
but we actually don't know if that's our first or second logical Magic either, because we don't know where the other Forest access song is. So, I mean, it could just be locked behind Rudos.
So, I mean, like, by process of elimination, like, what song? Okay. I'm looking at it, there's good chance probably either in, it's either in Jabu. It's locked behind Jabu, or it's locked behind.
ice, right?
ice.
It's Ruinous Ladder locked or Magic locked either way.
Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah, so we're definitely not finding both in here. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah, is what we can definitely say for sure.
But
And
as
if we,
far
again,
as far as what we actually know and what we're missing in order to be able to logically be in here right now, it's very fuzzy. So one of those things you guys kind of shrug your shoulders and move on.
yeah, this is like why I'm like despite the fact that forest is completable, um, like logically, it's kind of hard to justify going here. I mean, I know we don't have much else to do, but when we still have Gerudo Fortress. I know GTG is dead, but we still have Gerudo Fortress.
That'd be a really jerk move if there's something in Fortress with Baron GTG.
It happens.
It does.
Like, I mean, there's still two checks out there.
Basically, it's not bad to do forest, but you have to remember the logic and what's actually locking forest for now.
Yeah.
Right.
It can help you a lot determining where your next logical progression is going to be and what is going to be locking behind this, and you can cross that off the list of this will bring me to forest.
Definitely temper your expectations as to what you could find in here, but if you do find something in here, that makes deciphering the logic very interesting, depending on what it is.
So
whatever you find in here, you can just, if you find long shot here, you can just cross off water for possible Ruinous Ladder.
I mean, but long shot's never in forest, right?
Never. What do you mean?
Shout out to Phantom Gang. Anyway, yeah. So at the very least, there's that to consider. But at worst, this is a required dungeon. Shout outs to the double forest type going on right now, by the way.
Yeah,
not an ounce of sarcasm.
Yeah, all around, I feel like forest. Like I said, it's fine. It's a fine play. I'm not gonna hate on both these runners for going for it. I understand the idea of it, but I know myself. I personally would not have gone for the forest play. I probably would have gone for something else.
This is like one of those plays you really, like as a runner, you hate to do. Like, man, I don't want to do this right now, but I know I have to do this at some point, kind of thing. And, ooh, gonna grab a fairy here.
I really don't mind getting in here, but they just have to remember the logic behind this. Or they will just find nothing in here, which is very likely because it's later in the seed.
Yeah. That's the other problem with it is the fact that like we have no forest temple access in general, and we know that one of our access are out in the desert. So because of that's another reason why this kind of makes me hesitant to come here, because it like obviously this is like this thing of it's still it's still technically a medallion, it's still technically progression, right? But you could easily just hold off on this and it would make zero difference.
Fair. I mean, waiting till you have Minuet to save the time and walking here. The only counterpart I make to that is that we don't technically know that it's locked by desert access yet. It's likely to be locked by desert access, but we don't know what's in Desert Colossus yet, I don't think.
No, right. Not hinted so.
So I mean, it's possible that both forest access songs are locked directly by Rudos.
Yeah, and that's definitely fair. Like that's all I mean though. It's just like
no, I get it.
It's just all more. Yeah, it's just I feel like that's all more of a reason not to be doing it right now.
I definitely get it. Like there's definitely a temptation to be staying in logic to try and find more progression. Going out of your way like this can be a bit risky. I get why they're doing it.
But on the other hand, there's nothing you will find that's making forest faster. Well, for magic maybe for wind placement, but that's minimal. So there's not an item you can find in a different area that's making this temple faster.
Everybody loves going through forest.
Casually, I think Forest is a great dungeon. I think the dungeon design of this is amazing. But yeah, it's just
Casually,
too linear.
Forest was my favorite dungeon casually, so I get that. It's just in Zooter, after the 10,000th time of going through the dungeon, it gets a little old, and I understand that.
Yeah, it's just too linear for rando, which is fair. And it flow like Shadow. It's the same as Shadow for me.
Yeah, that's another thing too. Since they were in the area, you know, it's one of those things. Deciding to do it now so that they don't have to do it later, with the lack of knowledge as to where Minuet is. But hey, it all makes sense in the end.
For sure. Like
So,
I said,
predictably, nothing of note so far in Forest to speak of.
unfortunately, like again, I don't hate the play, and I'm not hating on the runners for making the play. I just would have made a different decision. Is all I'm trying to point out. Was all.
That's the beauty of randomizer, you know. Both plays are justifiable.
But, you know what? Honestly, I'd like to know what would the chat do. What would you have gone here to Forest Temple, or would you have done something else?
Yeah, definitely seen some people in chat chiming in earlier, but feel free to give us your thoughts. Lord knows we still gotta sit through the rest of Forest Temple, so hey, go for it.
Yeah, pretty much.
It's positive
push
to pushing it
progression.
off, push progression. Okay. Yep.
Yeah, I mean, so my question is, Starlight, what is your definition of progression? Because in my opinion, both are technically progression, right? In my personal definition, right? Because if I find stuff that's if I look through in logic and find items, that's still technically progression.
Ice is always progression. Any Rush Ice chats in fans? What? Hello? Any Rush Ice fans in chat?
I would definitely rush ice without bothering.
Definitely,
Sounds like a smart thing to do.
absolutely.
Kind of to what the hell during a weekly going ice with Rudos still in the bottle.
You'll love to see it.
And still winning the weekly, which was even better.
Oh, and it makes a good point. To be fair, Jason doesn't know that the Graveyard Song doesn't give him access, so like in his mind, this could still be in logic. That's very fair. Yeah. He knows that he has access to the Graveyard Song. He doesn't know that it's not Starias or Minuet. My partner isn't here. No Rush Ice. No. Tragedy.
F's in the chat.
I really hope Requiem is Starias. It's fairly likely, given everything we know about how wonky forest access logic is, that one of those two songs, Minuet or Starias, is in the desert.
For sure.
Alright, so as we are nearing the completion of at least half of Double Forest, real quick, want to shout out the runners. Please go follow TeaGrenadier and Jason if you haven't already. Shout outs to our trackers, Chuckles and Emily Kitty, and also shout outs to my co-coms, Sloa and TJ. Thanks for joining me, gentlemen.
Hey,
And of course, shout out to One Shot as well.
Yeah, chat. Shouts one shot. Been a great commentator. I always love when we can have healthy debates about the routing of OT.
Not even a shout out to the chat. Oh shoot, you're right. Shout outs to the chat. Y'all are the real MVPs. Thanks for watching us today.
I know you gotta say it like this, and shout out to the viewers like you.
That's right. You at home.
Make it more personal.
Yeah, exactly. That's how it works.
That's fair.
With you, we mean you. Not just anyone, but you.
Shout out to our sponsors, Lon Lon Milk.
I do remember there was like there was like the stay hydrated bot for like the longest time. I remember there was
Yeah.
like one that was like similar, but it was for like it was like a Zelda one. It was like about milk or something. I forget what.
Oh really?
Yeah, it was like you've been streaming for X amount of hours. By this time, you should have like you should have like consumed like X amount of liters of milk or long milk or something like that.
That's
It was
amazing.
something silly.
That's funny. Didn't time when Jason entered Forest, but T seems to have caught up. Yes, I think that the execution might have favored T a bit in Forest. So able to make some ground. Nice BGS. Never sad to be big. Never sad to see big stabbing.
Always great. to see
35
that.
minutes saved. Let's go.
So first non-free medallion that we see coming out, and we still have
But
a
yeah,
lot of
Forest,
detail.
Forest has been completely empty, so it's likely Forest is pretty late in the season.
I would
What
say so,
progression.
probably. And we're about to get the answer to what was in Desert Colossus. Take your bets. Do we
Prelude.
think Prelude? Okay, all right. Not going Forest Access song.
No, I want it behind Ruler's Ladder.
Hmm. I've marked Saria's already. I respect
Okay.
it. I respect it. I think
That's an arrow.
arrow.
Yeah, that's a single arrow.
Yeah, that is oh, it's like technically the single is I think it's like a 10 stack. I think.
It's Saria's.
All right, Chuckles. You won that round.
All right, so where's our logical?
Where's
access?
logical? Is that our logical Forest Access? Who knows?
Well, I mean, we need magic.
We would need
For
either
that.
Magic or probably Rudo. So really, whichever one we just find first.
Yeah. So yeah, at this point, it looks like our runners are, at least Jason's gonna be going straight into Spirit here. Again, not a bad play.
I like it. Spirit's a very item-dense area. Most of the checks are pretty quick. You got Strength too. You're really only missing Mirror and Magic to be able to do it. And you can do the Magic stuff as Child, so might as well. What concerns me a little bit is going back to Kakariko for Jason to get Nocturne. And then figuring out that Forest was not in Logic this entire time.
Well, he still doesn't know if Minuet is in Composers. Or did he do it now? Oh, he didn't do it yet.
He didn't yet. No, that's what I mean. By the time he gets back there to do Composer's Grave and get Nocturne there. Seeing some fireworks from Phantom Ganon there. One check away from being locked out of Spirit. Would not be surprised if T immediately plays Requiem out of here, and then we see double Adult Spirit for a little bit.
Depends if we're going to get key locked or not.
True.
Yeah, that probably is going to be what ends up happening.
This is interesting logically if we're locked out, because that would mean that the rest of Spirit is locked behind forest access as well. Wow.
Hey, free tunic.
The tunic's nice. You know, you don't need that wallet off treasure chest game anymore. But dang, this is a logical mess.
Magic can still be in. Oh, it's not a spirit. You're right. That's a lot of info.
Yeah.
Mini wet can still be in ice, and Ruda's leather can just be somewhere available. I mean, fire is a lot in play now with bombs.
Yeah, I
Since
mean,
it
it's
was
not.
not locked behind the maze.
We still don't know which song the game wants us to get to forest first. So we don't know that magic's not necessarily in there yet. It really just depends on where Rudo's is.
And the third bow.
Yeah, nice bow. Also, high five on the way out of the fairy fountain here.
Shout out to all bows being bomb or strength lock.
Yep. By extension, every single bow with strength 1 locked. That's yikes. Letter or magic in fortress, maybe? That'd be such a jerk move. I'm in. Let's see it.
Yeah, it's either fortress or deeper in fire. We can also dip water. Because we have iron boots and hookshot.
We still also have that. Oh wow. So this was the adult save warp, huh?
OGC, nice.
Baron OGC.
But does Jason know? Is it inside the pillar or outside the pillar?
I think it was out. Oh yeah,
Because
so it was just out.
Jason
No
doesn't know
way.
it's. The Baron hint was in River and he hasn't been to River yet.
Yep. So it doesn't know that this is Baron. This is really ironic. The fact that Strength 3 is available. This is hinted Baron. You're able to do it logically, even though he doesn't know that, and he doesn't know that it's dead. So all
It's
of that
so
was just
awkward.
all of that was incredibly ironic.
Yeah. And then he's gonna get then he's gonna be like, thanks game, you know?
Right.
Or probably his
Ooh.
typical response of randomizer.
As a spawn point by itself, it's actually a pretty good one because it's pretty close to Temple of Time. And
I mean, let's be honest, this is like we basically have vanilla here.
ironic or iconic? Yes.
Yeah. The funny thing is we basically have vanilla here for our spawns. Just
Yeah,
like,
I know, right? They're both pseudo vanilla.
they might as well be vanilla kind of things.
We gotten any skull hints? We know that 30 is dead, and I believe that's the extent of it. I think we saw that 10 was dead.
10 has been checked by T, so 10 is dead for sure.
Okay.
And 30 is Stone of Agony, so.
Yeah, let's go see Chew Bowling now. I mean, Rudos or magic would be very telling.
If it's magic, it doesn't do that much because then it's okay. Here's your forest access, which is completely empty, by the way.
Right. I mean, as far as practicality goes, it doesn't do much yet. Although there is still the Shadow Wath outstanding. We haven't found Dins yet.
He going reverse to Fortress?
Definitely, it looks like T's going reverse.
Ooh, this is interesting.
This play because GG Baron, you just full cross the area besides Hammerrocks.
Might be looking to take that into Adult Lake afterwards too.
Yep.
Yeah, set up Scarecrow's kit. Yeah, you could do that.
This is a really awkward area to get to without Serenade. So full clearing it now definitely makes sense.
Should dip water to the Bosky.
No reason not to.
Yeah, I mean, I guess. I don't know. I've never been a big fan of doing that. Like, I understand why people do it. I just never been, because it's like I'll find the boss key eventually. Like, so I don't
Yeah,
like.
yeah.
Like we said, if you have no Serenade, it's annoying to get back. Ooh, Rang.
That is not what I was expecting. That does very little to clear things up.
That does
It's
nothing
great.
besides calls.
But hey, on
It's
the bright
great to
side,
have. We're gonna need it.
on the bright side, we have George the dog.
Yo, he's giving us some motivational support as we're doing bombshell bowling.
Of course, the puppers is always gotta give.
This makes me think that Forrest is locked behind Jabu, though.
Yes, this does point in that direction. There's one extra item to be able to do Jabu.
Man,
So,
no Rang
now-
vanilla. I'm sad.
No vanilla rank. So I mean, what's the Wath in Jabu then?
Magic.
Magic. Good.
Pretty much.
It.
I'm waiting for this next one to be Rudo's letter.
Oh, that will be
please,
awesome.
Please.
Magic!
Oh my god.
Throw everything we just said out the damn window. We're back in logic.
Hey, here's your magic to cross the wasteland to do forest, which is barren.
Wait,
Have fun.
It's ridiculous that he forgot the unz target there with the explosive, but like the silliness of this is the fact that the seed required you to like the seed required you to go grab the bomb bag, then go back back child to grab your magic and your boomerang.
Yeah, so
Like-
you needed to grab strength 1 to be able to do link off the top of DC, to be able to do link to go around with strength, to get a bomb bag, to go back child, to go to get magic, to go back adult, to walk your butt across the wasteland, have not even minuet, Sarias. So you have to warp all the way back to the forest.
Yep.
That's awful.
So
That's miserable.
yeah, that sounds like random to me.
Yeah. Now, where's our second magic? Well,
Shadow.
if I was a betting man, I'd say Shadow Temple.
I mean, so like the other thing too is the fact that that was our market wave hero. Like obviously like the boomerang was probably our market wave hero.
Mm-hmm.
So that probably means the
Well,
magic is probably not.
That's the confirmed one, but I mean, they both could be, right?
They
Like,
could very well both be, but that would mean the other magic has to be locked behind
has to be
magic,
lock.
so therefore it has to be in like spirit or it has to be in shadow.
I mean, there's a lot of this seed that's magic locked right now because of forest access and the fact that spirit is entirely magic locked as well. Like
That's true.
a lot of checks, and of course, just the classic Shadow Temple and all of the other strictly magic lock stuff. But yeah, this is starting to feel like there's something in spirit for this logical chain to, make more sense. I guess it doesn't make total sense.
Yeah. I will say the one thing, I think another reason why I think I give Jason the edge here is especially the fact that like I feel like Jason does a very good job at reading into the logic.
For sure.
And that's probably why
Hammer!
what the heck? Hammer and
The massive pull. This is such an awful area of the game to go to.
what the heck? I mean Jason will go there eventually, I'm sure.
Yeah, I mean, right now, I think the worst thing that Jason could find, ironically, is Serenade, because you probably would want to route this in just like T is doing, going into Fortress and then taking the horse out and going into Adult Lake.
Yeah. I mean, the thing is, like, that is in logic, like.
Oh yeah, it's been in logic for a long time.
Yeah. So, like I said, I think Jason will eventually. Like I said, Jason will.
Do you have the hammer? You have the hammer. Why?
Yes.
Probably just didn't think about it.
That's bad.
That's one of those things where you're like, you have a plan in your head as to as to
you gotta
where you're
telephone.
gonna go, and then you get an item, and you don't necessarily realize that you're able to do some more stuff along the way. It's
Yeah.
probably
No,
not.
we did not get a Grudo Valley hammer hint. We have a Goron City hammer hint. So
In which,
this is bad. Well,
and
it
we
is something.
already know the left side is dead, so like even if it was an item, we know it wouldn't be the way of the hero regardless
Mhm.
because of how the hint system works.
Okay, what do we need for Goron? We need Mirror Shield, Grudo's
Mirror,
Ladder, Din.
Rudos.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you
We have
showed
two
it.
anti-heroes
Oh,
left.
and
Long
there's
shot.
not.
Long shot. Wait a
Hold on.
second.
That's not long shot. I was about to say that's magic.
Wait a second.
T, you've been in River.
I don't think they went this far up
Yeah,
though.
they went down to Lost Woods.
Oh,
Oh,
how?
wait a second. No,
He didn't look.
Uh,
Oh well, he will do bunch of bowling. It's fine. It's
yeah, no,
Yeah,
Market Watt, they're gonna get that magic. But that also confirms then that the Market
but
Watt is strictly boomerang.
yeah, it is.
Oh,
Actually,
this
Big
is
Poe's
completely
notwithstanding.
fine.
have we seen like a hint for Big Poe, or have we seen Big Poe?
Nope.
No, I don't believe so.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
the magic in River is not gonna hurt him because it didn't
yeah,
unlock
No, not
anything
at
for
all.
him anyway. He will get it for bunch of bowling. This is fine.
yeah. I
Yep,
mean,
not a big deal at all.
He could have used it for his win somewhere, but whatever.
So opting to go into domain without Rudos here makes it's a little bit awkward too because Jason still doesn't have a scale.
He also
Um,
does have Serenade, so it's a hike
or
anyway.
Serenade. Yeah, so it's a hike either way, and I'm curious to see if Jason wants to go back to Child Goron City during this Child 2 segment here.
there's a
If we,
chance. Yeah,
yeah, there's definitely a chance. Can't take the shortcut because no scale, but the save warp is right there. Well, not right there, but it's close enough. 30 is in fact dead, yes. So doing adult lake dipping water and then fire. Yeah, I think that was the plan the entire time was to go reverse, finish off fortress and go into adult lake. Hammer changes things a little bit now. That fire is clearable.
yeah, yeah. So yeah, the thing that I know with Jason, he does some crazy routing with things too, which oftentimes does play into his favor, in my opinion. Some, not always, but a lot of times it does.
Yeah, I mean this is a type of game where playing by the book all the time isn't going to work out, you know. So sometimes making creative routing decisions is advantageous.
Yeah, it's like it's not, you know, like oftentimes it's also like, just going by a strict route, like as we can see with Tyr, like going to Gruta Fortress into here, like you could tell it was kind of like it really felt like it was like that. He's just going off of what seems more of a what's the word I'm looking for? A higher probability, I guess.
Right, playing more towards density, right?
Yeah, that's what I was
And
looking for. Higher
and
density. Yeah, he was looking for higher density,
and
and I'm not gonna necessarily say that screwed him, obviously, because he got hammer out of it, but obviously Jason has found quite a few other things and has got a lot more, like a lot more information than T, which
The
I
thing
mentioned
is
is
for Jason at the moment, if uh, Child Spirit has nothing, the Ren is useless at the moment. The hammer from T gives him a whole dungeon to complete.
mm,
I
yeah,
mean, they've
T
had
will get Bone to Bowling when he goes back to Child because it's his way as the hero.
so the thing is Boomerang doesn't really open anything up for us because we already had Slingshot for pretty much at the beginning of
or
the season.
Child Spirit, yeah.
So we already had that for Child Spirit, so that doesn't actually do anything for us. It's like that's why I was saying, like, yeah, you found Boomerang, which is useful, but that's something that T's gonna eventually pick up anyway. But at the same time, Jason's also got a lot more information that T doesn't.
I will say that T's playstyle throughout this entire season has been extremely thorough, and that can be a double-edged sword sometimes. Clearing a lot of areas that you don't necessarily need to, but thus far it's been incredibly useful in getting a lot of checks early and getting the scale early, getting the hammer now. Definitely has paid off a lot so far. And not saying that Jason hasn't been thorough, it's just the routing hasn't been nearly as efficient.
Yeah, and that's all in just like I said, Jason's play style. He does typically try to he does try to be thorough, but to an extent. He tries to like make plays that he feels like, all right, that like this is probably not going to have anything, so he'll might try to like skip over it,
For sure. And
stuff like that.
that's an extremely viable strategy, right? Because
Yeah,
you can't clear everything every season, especially in a 1v1 race like this. It's not it's just not the best way of handling things. But that mentality has, at least to this point, paid off. I think a little bit more for T than it has for Jason up to this point.
that's fair. Yeah, and
Hey, that's
the thing is, I think the things that both of them have cleared are things that we will see both of the runners get to just at a later point. So it's hard to say that either one is really in the lead right now
for
because
sure. Yeah, this is still a super tight race.
yeah.
I
So
think the most difficult things for Jason is Child Grown City for Iron Books.
Hmm.
yeah, and he's in Kakariko right now, so there's a good chance he's probably going to pick up these skulls and then check 10 and 20 if he hasn't already checked 10. Um, and then probably head up the mountain and straight into Goron City. And
Yeah, yeah. This
Going
looks
up the
like
mountain is slow though. Okay, that bomb back is bomb
nice
locked.
bomb bag.
Is it bomb locked? No, it's
all
not
three,
actually.
no,
Yeah, it is.
all three bows were strength locked,
And Hammer
and
was HPA. Yeah.
Hammer was HBA. Oh, that's an awful bomb bag location. Come on, man.
Awesome.
and Jason coming in for some more skull routing here. Wanted to catch up a bit on those skulls. So
19, almost there.
yeah, so I don't think Jason has a bottle, unfortunately, so gonna miss out on one of them.
The Fire Temple bomb bag that was in the vanilla boss key chest. The logical one was on Link the Goron.
But the Hammer Loop had no keys or boss keys.
And more, yeah, there's more choose.
And we knew
Nice.
that. T
Oh,
already
you're
found those.
oh,
Lawrence
okay, okay.
yeah.
Yeah, it must have been away when we were talking about that. You guys,
No, the bomb bag in Fire isn't bomb locked. It's strength locked.
yeah. So you trying to go for that? Like this, this trick is like this deceptively hard. I would feel, or like it's harder than it looks, at least.
Are glitches allowed in this race? Very few selective ones are. Namely ground jumps and flame storage.
Pretty much the only two that are allowed.
And there's one clip we do in Shadow Temple.
Yes, correct.
Yeah.
Strength locks both
Because,
bomb bags. It does, yes, because
yes,
all
Xinja, it is hard.
mm, all three bows were locked behind strength. Because the bomb bag was locked behind strength, and that locks another bow. So, yeah. All right, Jason picking up Nocturne now.
And it's gonna go for flame storage right here. Definitely a trick I feel is definitely a little bit more trickier than some people realize. But when you pull it off, it's really nice.
A little bit
Even
of
better if it is something in there.
Even better, yeah.
Also nailed the setup for the side jumps there at the end. Nicely done.
Mirror shield.
Oh my god!
Well, that's one item less.
The heck? That's
So
that's a
that's
really huge pull. There's nothing pointing to this area at all.
so. I mean, I think that like unless T finds dens, I feel like that gives Jason a pretty decent edge.
No,
Here.
no fire source yet, and T does have to go back child to pick up magic. I mean, I can't imagine they'd be back in river at this point unless they really want to go to ice. Um, that's a huge pull. Shadow has Rudos. Shadow can still have long shot. Shadow has long shot.
Shadow will have long shots. Rudos. No. Shadow will have Rudos.
Butter sword, nice.
What do we
When
need?
When Dins shows up, you do that with Shadow. Depends on where Dins is, though. For all we know, Dins
Rudos
could
in
just
the
be...
well. Now, Java will most likely have either Dins or Longshot.
Also, we got a nice poll going on right now. Is this an AD seed? Because with everything going on, we still have the storm clouds of, pun intended, storm clouds of AD over our head.
Yeah, I mean,
I would say it's very unlikely it's going to be AD.
yeah, it would have to be like 80 for.
Longshot.
Yeah, it'd be 80 for the long shot, or even Rudos.
Well, we know that storms can't have Dins, and we know that we need to go to Shadow for at least one of the two items.
There's
Oh,
Dins.
And
you've
it's
got to
gonna
be
be
kidding.
It's not AD.
okay. Like this is okay. This is gonna be something. Like if Jason is not careful, he's going to get burned by that. No pun intended.
Two bad puns in the matter of minutes.
I don't think so because he has no hammer anyway at the moment.
Right, but he's gonna get the hammer eventually. Like that's what I'm saying. Like he's probably the minute he goes back adult, he's probably going to Gruta Fortress. I don't see him, or like, he'll either go he'll probably go to Spirit and then do reverse and go into Gruta Fortress.
Just to note, we weren't hammerlocked initially on the first dip into fire. We were
Nope.
able to go higher on the first trip. So
This is all still without hammer.
yeah, this is the both checks on the first loop. I believe were dead, right? I don't think they were keys.
It's bomb back and something else.
Bomb bag and yeah. So like that, Jason is theoretically able to get that Dins without hammer.
Yeah.
Now the problem is
that would have been awesome. Hammer and Shadow.
Also, Jason's just about to get the iron boots here, so don't have to worry about sticking this. You can't keep getting away with not intending these puns. Would it be better if they were intended? Missing letter and long shot with 2 unresolved wafts.
Yeah, it's not going to be 80.
Do we have 2 unresolved?
We have Jabu and Shadow.
Oh, Jabu, that's right. I forgot about Jabu. Yeah, this does look pretty straightforward from this point, no? Rudos in Shadow and then long shot and Jabu. Or, the means with which to get them.
Yeah, it's more of just the question of who's gonna find all these items first. And like due to like how I know Jason, like I'm if I remember correctly from what Jason is, Jason's very much a player that will, like, minute he finds the boss key, he just dips out of Fire Temple. So I think
respect that.
Like unless he's like really thinking about it, like thinking like, well, I don't got much left to do, which there's a good chance that he probably won't have much to do. He might go deeper, and he'll find it. I'm really crossing my fingers that happens. And he, like I said, he doesn't get screwed up by it, because that would be horrible. Because because the more time he does not go deeper into fire after he finds that boss key, the more time that's just more time for T to catch up.
I can actually see T after fire. He's probably going back child. He will do Bonchu Bowling.
Market bluff. Yep.
And then if he wants to go to river to do domain, he might play Nocturne. He has Dins and Magic. He might get that Mirror Shield then. I think it's the best possible way for him to get it.
With Dins and Magic, the Composer's Grave now becomes basically free. You do it right after Shadow. So the only potential time lost there is he's probably more likely to full clear Shadow looking for Mirror. So
he can also do his child on his way to domain, or
conversely, they could also find Rudos in Shadow, bail immediately to get the Jabu Waff, beeline it there, and skip Composer's Grave. That's not impossible.
Yeah, I could see T getting baited very heavily here.
I think the biggest question now, particularly from Jason's side, is when do you get the hammer? It's not the greatest location in the world, and if he decides to dip fire first, it kind of finding Dins at that point is almost like a kiss of death. When do you go to Fortune?
Jason is going to complete Spirit after this.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, Jason 100% goes to Spirit after this.
True. Yeah, you have to reverse out of Spirit.
Yeah, then he reverses out of Spirit and probably goes to Fortress at that point, because he'll notice that he'll be like, okay, it's in logic, so it's probably a good play to do. I'm already, I can just reverse to it, and then he'll find the hammer on horseback archery, and then be basically caught up with T. But at the same time, it's like the question of when does that happen?
Jabu will be our long shot boss, and Shadow will be our Rudo's letter.
It's basically confirmed at this point. It's either those items directly or items that will lead to Rudos and long
There
shot.
are no items that will lead them to it. They have everything. There's no bait item left. That could be technically fire arrows for Shadow Trial too, for long shot there.
Yeah, I was about to say there's still a few things.
It's not quite fully clear, but the odds of it being anything other than that is very, very slim.
I have to step away for a few minutes.
No problem.
So, yeah, looks like I guess we're hoping Jason just grabs this key and then leaves, and then doesn't climb farther into Child. I mean, I'm pretty sure he already knows that it's key lock. He knows it's or key locked out of Spirit, right?
He does, yeah. So
Okay.
I mean, there's really no point in climbing as Child since you have everything, all the tools to be able to do this as adult. You just grab your key and then
you dip out, yeah.
Or not.
Jason?
Oh, that's right. He doesn't have a fire source. You're right.
Oh.
He doesn't have Dins. So no, climbing does make sense here.
That's true. At least up to the point where you can check Compass Chest.
Honestly, at this point, getting the sunblock room too, you probably just full clear Child. Also, Heaps, thanks for the sub. 8 months. Much appreciated.
I mean, the unfortunate thing here too with doing this though is like it's just less time that he has to catch up to T though. And that's more time that T has to catch up to Jason.
Yeah. I mean, at
that's nice, Greg.
Yeah, I mean, I'm probably at this point, it's, T's going to go back Child to get the Boomerang and Magic off of Bombshoe Bowling. And deciding what to do after getting Rudos in Shadow is going to be key. Yo, we're valid. Let's go. Yeah, so really at this point, AD is dead. There's one way or another, we're about to get the last two items since we have two unresolved wafts to go. Um, Rudos or an extension thereof is in Shadow, and Long Shot or an extension thereof is in Jabu.
Yeah.
And then we'll be clear for takeoff. So AD is
Um,
dead. There's the boomerang for T.
The question really comes down to, does T find Rudos? Like if T finds Rudos, right?
In
And then
Shadow.
gets in Shadow, then immediately is going to go straight to Jabu, right?
That's what I would do. Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure if T would be inclined to full clear Shadow on the first dip looking for Mirror Shield. If that's the case, that's going to be huge for him because he'll find it on the way out of Shadow. But I would think it's more likely that they find Rudos and hard bail to get the waft out from Jabu. And then when do you go back to Composer's Grave?
Yeah. So like that's the ultimate problem, right? Is
Yeah,
like
exactly.
when does he go back? Oh, this
Tough to
chicken.
see. I mean, where in Shadow Rudos is a factor too, right? Like if it's near, if it's in the back part near Bongo, you might as well full clear, right? Like because you don't have the intel on all dungeons that we do. So for all you know, Mirror's in the well. The chickens here, Bomb Triple, and giving T a little bit of trouble.
Yeah, I know this one right here gave me
top.
a top one.
Top was the worst.
Yeah. He's really struggling with this setup. This is the main problem.
There we go.
Oh, the chicken being a row there. Welcome back.
So gonna get the magic. Gonna have to come back in.
Do it again.
Yeah, unfortunately, it's come back in again for the boomerang, but that's okay. Hopefully, everything goes well otherwise.
Yeah, I mean the magic we definitely the magic situation was a bit unfortunate in just it being right next to the river shortcut. But I mean either way you gotta do bomb bowling, right? Because you need boomerang.
Yeah, maybe I can help T learn how to do the bomb shoe bowling setup,
Barely missed down the middle, man.
because it's like one of those tricks that like it looks like it's hard to do, but it's actually fairly simple.
There we go. There's the rhyme.
Chicken's finally being a bro on that one.
But yeah, for now, not struggling with chickens, so it's all good.
It's a hint that they have to skip chickens in CAC.
I see. Well, I mean, Adult Andrew did have lights.
Straight into Shadow?
Yeah, I think that's exactly where he's going at this point. And looks like Jason's going back Adult to polish off Spirit.
Yep, gonna do Spirit, and then from Spirit, probably gonna go to Gruder Fortress, and then find that hammer. I don't see how that's not the play.
Yeah, I think at that point, you either do Fortress then, or literally never. So you probably do it.
Yeah, because like when else do you route it in?
Yeah, it's really awkward without Serenade.
Yeah, unless Jason just straight orphans it, which would pretty much spell doom for Jason.
That would be tragic. All right, so Chad, how deep in Shadow is Rudos?
Bongo Bongo. Let's go.
That's pretty deep. That's pretty deep.
The one thing
first check.
Yeah, like we're
thank
really
you, George.
hoping. Yeah, what we're really hoping for is that it's Rudos. At least if you're rooting for Jason, you're really hoping T finds Rudos here, so he kind of does get swayed off from checking.
If it's long shots, if
I
you
have
will
many
find long shot here, I will full clear it to get storms for the well. For Rudos there. No, it can be because Rudo's Jabu
Then
is still with
what's
there.
the Jabuwath, right? Like it really. I don't want to say that it's guaranteed, but aside from a few potential items that unlock other things, it's basically guaranteed. He's
Now,
not getting there
Future,
yet. No.
I do believe that since we have no prelude after Shadow, he has to go back to Castle anyway. So he has to check Composer's Grave right there.
If he doesn't bail immediately after finding Rudos.
But then he still has to go to Castle. And then he will still pass Composer Grave with Magic and Dins. It's his best opportunity to check it.
Does he know the save quit? Where the save quit is?
No, he doesn't.
That is actually pretty huge. Because if he knew that the save quit was OGC, you'd be tempted to just save quit out from warping out of Shadow. But you're right, the fastest way is walking from Nocturne.
And he walked back every time to H chain. He hasn't saved warped yet, so.
Which is very strange. I don't. Maybe he thinks it's somewhere else.
So honestly, the lack of finding that save warp could actually just be massive for T in finding Mirror.
Yeah, I will save him in this point for sure.
Unless for whatever reason he thinks, oh, I haven't done it, and then realizes how close it is. He might, I don't know. Like
you probably jump into Composer Grave. It's your best option right here, right now. You have Magic and Dins.
Yeah, that is true.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. Something I hadn't considered.
If he isn't doing it after Shadow, he will never do it.
Yeah.
No, I mean, you could potentially still save warp, because either way, if it's in a terrible location, you play Nocturne anyway, and you're right back where you started from, right? Yeah. But I don't think that's super likely.
Yeah, like the thing is like the thing too is the fact that there could be the very good chance that he finds like he finds it and then just immediately dips out, right?
Yeah, well, I mean, I think that probably would be the play. It's just in dipping out, you have to go back to Temple of Time, and right now the fastest way of doing that is walking straight by Composer's Grave. Unless you're so like laser focused on the Wath, you walk by it. That would be disastrous.
Which we had already seen T do that one time on another check, right? So there could be a chance he ends up doing it again.
And again, there is still at least in T's mind, the possibility of all dungeons not knowing that Mirror Shield isn't Storms locked, right? And depending on where Rudos is in here, might just full cleared anyway. Who knows?
Well, Sora's River, he probably never peaked, so not really orphaning because he never saw it. It's still a missed opportunity.
Yeah, we did see that with Hammer Rocks too. A little bit focused on the route to take and missed doing Hammer Rocks there.
I do know that T is sometimes misreading hints and thinking it is something with hammers in Schooner Valley. I know he is also doing it with Skull Mask and Skull Kit.
Okay, that's definitely a possibility, yeah. Could have been a conscious decision.
Yep.
Gold scale.
Gold scale.
Yeah. He already checked. He checked lab,
okay,
so he knows it's nothing.
You knew where I was going with that. Yeah, alright. So that ain't it. We're gonna have to keep going.
Yep.
He peaked tech tide. Well, he has iron for that, and he did lab dive, so.
Yeah, I wouldn't have stopped there anyway myself.
No,
I would have kept going. Like scale
not without Serenade at the very least. You're not hiking across the field for a lab dive without knowing it's there.
Yeah.
At Dark Dillion, it's on the Roman branch.
It's very cool. Highly recommend.
It's if you go to the Roman branch, it's under cosmetic.
It's a checkbox. You don't do it for each individual item. It's like randomized equipment colors or something like that.
Yeah, it's underneath cosmetics, and there's an extra checkbox under the mirror shield frame color.
Fire arrow. My spirit key logic is failing me. Is that fire source locked? I know map chest was a key.
That it is.
That is, yes. Because I'm pretty sure to get there, I'm pretty sure you need at least 4 keys, I'm pretty sure. Or you need at least, I think you need 4 keys or 3 keys plus long shot.
All right.
What was on the other hand? In child's hand?
I don't remember.
I didn't see it.
Yeah, well, if there's a small key on the child side, then yeah, it's like you 100% need long shot for this.
4 keys to get to adult side. Okay.
But the seed is still rolled on the stable, but you just save that stable as a patch file. Then you can
then
patch it
patch
whatever
it
you
roll.
want.
Yeah.
So the seed is still stable, you just get the extra colors.
Best of both worlds.
And those colors are amazing.
Big fan.
Till you get like an ugly ass blue boomerang, like I had last time.
The bloomerang.
Oh, it was. I had a melon bow, watermelon bow, and oh, there's Rudos.
Oh, there's Rudos.
So
He
does
probably continues because he misses 2 items.
Yeah, that is a
Looks
good
like
fair
they're
point.
gonna stay.
I could see that.
Yeah,
He
I
misses
mean,
2 items, so it makes sense.
Yeah.
Finish it.
being 2 items away and knowing that only one of the, well, I
Oh,
mean, you
look.
don't know that one of nice bomb bag.
Another bomb lock bomb back.
We were talking about earlier, the game loves to place bomb lock bomb bags.
I mean, strength was way the hero for our bomb bag.
Yep.
And bomb back was way of the hero in Goron City. Together with the Iron Boot.
This is true.
And not knowing too that Storms unlocks a lot of checks. So at the very least, taking a dive. At the very least, beating all of Shadow gets you 14 more checks with Storms.
Yeah.
Hear me out. Go to the normal Furor's win spot, then dip out. I would understand it. I get it. But I think at this point, knowing that your last two items on T side are long shot and mirror shield, they don't unlock a lot of checks by themselves. So
Yeah.
2 checks each.
right, exactly. So going through the rest of Shadow to at the very least get Storms, it's just a better statistical play than bailing and getting either long shot or mirror from Jabu and clearing water or spirit. You know, it's just not. It's not going to yield you your last item most likely.
Definitely a good play from T's perspective to clear Shadow, get Thunderstorms.
Makes
Just
perfect
in
sense.
case. Maybe when he goes to after Shadow goes to Composer Grave, find Mirror Shield. Hopefully he will realize there that are you doing it? Or are you just doing forward wind for the pot?
Could just be for the pot, yeah.
Come on, safe quit. You can do it. I believe. No. Okay.
Nope, just going for the pot. All right, yeah, it looks like committing to full clear Shadow, and it also makes sense too. You're gonna go. You know you're gonna go back Child for Jabu. You're going to be literally right there to pick up the Ocarina of Time.
I just hope that when he goes out and he goes Composer, and he gets a mirror, that he will definitely go to Composers now because he got 20 skulls as well. He will hand it in.
Yeah, that's right. He's gonna hand in the Sculptural reward as well. I think it's pretty unlikely at this point that they're gonna miss Composer's Grave.
If he's skipping it, he is not getting it.
Nope. No, it would have to be a kind of like what we saw with Hammer or the other Magic earlier. Is that I have a plan and I'm gonna go there. I'm gonna beeline it.
He just has to realize that he has to do Composer Grave.
Yep. Meanwhile, we see Jason going through the rest of Spirit. Predictably not finding anything.
Need Hammer, Dims, Rudos.
Right.
Long shot. So he needs 4 items.
And they kind of daisy chain together too, right? Hammer into Dins, into Rudos, into Longshot. So it really is just a matter of when he gets that first step, which would be HBA. All right, throw Rova time. Let's see how kind she is today. I guess they in phase 1.
And Rova's never nice.
Nah. Oh, how did that miss? I disagree, game. That was right on her.
Because hitboxes.
What on earth? Trollrova being Trollrova. Yep, it's the classic. Wait a second. What's this we're seeing from T? Warping out?
Oh,
Place for oars and bales.
Come on, jump in.
No storms.
Oh no, no.
Not jumping in.
Okay, this is bad.
Uh-oh.
He is not. He's not
Oh,
getting
this
the mirror shield.
I can't imagine when they would be back to get that. They'd have to go back to Shadow and beat it in order for that to happen. But you're gonna find Longshot and clear all of water first.
Yeah, he's not finding them.
Up, going straight back to the Temple of Time to
Not even
go to
checking
Jabu.
20 skulls.
Beelining that
Yeah.
Wath in Jabu. Maybe expecting both items to be there.
Yeah, like happens sometimes, especially when you're nervous and
Yeah.
you're like sometimes you oftentimes just make rash plays and it happens. We'll
Nerves
see
are
if
definitely
that
a factor.
we'll see if that ends up working into Jason's favor or if he ends up forgetting Gerudo Fortress and we're just playing the waiting game of who's gonna find it first.
Can somebody remind me where the fire BK was?
It was like Maze, I think.
Okay, so that's
No.
another fact.
No, it was chest. It was the map chest, I think, actually.
Map chest. Okay, so Din's was after that. So that's another factor to consider too, right? Is does Jason
Yeah.
continue clearing after until shortcuts? Usually, what you do at that point in fire, because if he doesn't, then that's Din's orphaned, and then it's just a matter of who finds their orphan check first.
Yeah, unfortunately, if that ends up happening with Jason, I think Jason has a bit of a. Oh my goodness.
The only thing I can see happening now is T playing Nocturne.
Yeah.
No, he's safe warping because
Safe
Kiri
warping, going
Forest.
straight to Jabu.
Yeah, but I was maybe thinking Nocturne into CAC to River, but safe warping Kokiri with the scale is faster
Jason.
towards domain.
Also, looks
Jason
like we're
not.
getting an extra phase out of Twin Rova. Unfortunately, we're at the mercy of RNG.
Yeah, this is all around become a very close, surprisingly close seed.
Now things get interesting, really
Very
interesting,
interesting. I definitely agree.
because T is gonna find Longshot and Jabu, and is most likely just going to beeline straight to water after that. So what T does after water and what Jason's doing in the meantime,
The water,
especially
he's
with
going Ganos.
and cannons. Oh jeez. Oh, this is disastrous.
Oh my goodness, yeah, and Jason unfortunately
But
missing that
Jason's in the
third
same
hit
spot.
isn't, yeah. Jason's
If
pretty
Jason
much,
finds hammer and how far he goes in fire.
yeah.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Jason's just like, I'm pretty sure that's 5 fires in a row here. Like, geez,
Rova,
that is
please.
extremely unlucky.
There we go. Finally, dude.
He missed the one cycle.
Yeah, he missed.
Yeah,
He missed the jump
first swing was
slash.
a little misaligned.
T mad. T was mad about that one.
Oh, the magic. Yeah, that's understandable.
He had Z targeting issues. Oof.
Well, Rove was finally down. See you later. But Medallion number 3 for Jason. Castle's not open yet, so you're here now in the desert. We're probably going to see a reverse play.
There's not much else Jason can do.
Yeah,
Fire. But
yeah, you're right.
no, he's going.
Oh, he's going to go probably to fire. Oh,
Then he at
man.
least will find Dins.
He'll find
because
Din, yes.
He'll find Dens and then go to
And then
Rudos
go to
and then
Oh, no, but then go to Shadow and full clear it.
yeah, then go to Shadow, full clear it, go to Jabu, and then
Find
when-
long shot, go to
So-
water, go to... Oh, no.
oh my god.
Oh, no.
Jason, why? Just reverse. When do you ever go back to Gerudo Fortress?
Uh-oh. I don't think ever.
Oh,
Dins
goodness.
was after the boss key, but
This is the
But
case
finding the
of
boss key doesn't help because he can't beat the boss.
Yeah,
this-
Jason will climb fire. And he's not getting key locks. If he does he
No,
have
he's not.
Pierre? No, he does have Pierre.
like
But he left with 2
ooh.
keys and he did Pierre last, so he's not getting key lock with Pierre. But Dins is before Pierre anyway.
Hammer
Yeah.
Casino is a faster clear than Mirror Casino. It
I mean, the thing is,
honestly, it really just does depend on what T does after clearing Shadow at that point, because after Castle, Storms is the next best play.
yeah, the thing is like Hammer. So the thing is you gotta think about Hammer, like, so he has to get Hammer and then has to go back to fire, complete fire, and well, I mean, yes, T still has to go find Mirror and go back to Mirror, like, or go,
This is
go to
this is
Spirit.
a bad situation no matter how you look at it. It's really
Yeah.
just a matter of which one decides to go into that orphaned area first. The fact that Valley Fortress and Lake are more dense tends to favor Jason a little bit, but I can absolutely see T just polishing off the rest of Shadow for Storms and just jumping into the Composer's Grave.
We could also see T after beating Jabu play Nocturne to go back to Adult. Maybe
Yeah.
then he jumps in.
Mm,
U-
Yeah.
It's
Ultimately,
faster from Nocturne than it is from Kokiri.
yeah.
Back to the castle.
Ultimately, this seat's gonna end up becoming a who's gonna Pepega harder,
Although-
right?
although once T's done with Jabu, he's not that far from the Owl.
Yes, he is.
I mean, you have to take the shortcut
He-
down.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, like I said, it just
Yeah,
comes down to who's gonna Pepega harder at this point. Like,
That's a play that I respect. All right, where's the long shot at?
Baronet.
yeah, I'm saying I don't really think it matters too much because you have to complete this regardless. So
It
don't
doesn't.
really care.
No, it doesn't, but it would still be interesting to see. Like if it wasn't rank locked, for instance.
Mhm. So maybe like maybe he finds Dens, goes and finds Brutos, and maybe then he'll like maybe Jason will just dip out of Shadow and just head over to Jabu straight to Jabu.
Probably, yeah, because he's going to get Dins and go immediately into Shadow for Rudos. So, just to give a quick recap for Bitsy and for anybody else who might be joining in a little bit late, who's in the lead? It's kind of hard to say because both of the runners kind of orphaned in a check or an area that has the progression they're looking for. The hammer for Jason is on HBA, and the mirror shield for T is in the Composer's Grave. They're both going to go through a chain of finding Dins in fire to get to Rudos in Shadow to get long shot in Jabu, and from there we just kind of have to wait and see. Composers is quick to check, but like, when are you going to be in the area again? Is the thing.
Yeah, like Graveyard. Like the thing is like when you think you've already basically cleared out like Graveyard, you like will never go there, especially if you're never touching Shadow again, right? Which is a good chance is what T's not going to do. Is probably going to touch Shadow again, right?
Storms
Like,
though.
Yeah, like he probably won't touch it unless he absolutely has to, right?
I mean, it could just be a play where,
So-
like, all right, well, I'm going to clear at up to a certain point in shadow, and then I'm probably never coming back again. That's possible.
Yeah.
He is gonna do water and Ganon's castle before going back.
Castle, yes,
to
he'll
Shadow.
definitely do castle before shadow. But
Yeah.
then again, Jason would probably do castle before going to valley,
Yeah.
and fortress rather. So Din's,
Jason
Din's
cannot do his 4th dungeon, so
Yeah, he can't
yeah, he will
complete it.
find Dins
he
and he
will
will do
he'll,
Shadow.
he'll
No,
do
Shadow
he'll do
is a stop.
Brutos for
Yeah.
Jabba.
Yeah. I wonder if Jason's gonna full. No, he's not. Maybe he's gonna full clear
So
Shadow
to,
for.
to answer the question about where Dins is after the BK, but that doesn't really matter because Jason can't beat the dungeon. So the fact that he's here at all tells me that he's intending to clear it.
Jason's gonna full clear this place. I mean,
For all he
Vanilla
knows,
Hammer has happened before.
Hammer's in here, right? Like, who knows? The fact that he's not key locked yet, and we know that Hammer doesn't. There were 2 dead checks in the beginning, loop and fire. So Hammer, you're not hammer locked throughout this dungeon. I don't know if Volve was a key. No, Volve wasn't a key. Volve was a wallet. So no, you're not. You are strictly not hammer locked throughout fire throughout the entirety of the dungeon.
Or he will full clear this place. Besides the 3 hammer checks.
The only thing that could throw a loop into that is Scarecrow.
He doesn't have it. No, but yeah, you have 2 keys. I
yeah, he can
remember
go-
T
go
leaving
get
with
it.
2 keys.
Okay,
And-
then yeah,
and he-
then he will find Dins at the very least.
Even Pierre is a spare key. That's a long
Okay.
shot.
Long shot, and we already kind of
Not,
saw
not
that
on the
coming.
boomerang chest. It sure was. Oh man, that is ridiculous. All right, well,
So
there's the long shot.
yeah, so we didn't really need boomerang, right? Like to get the long shot, which is kind of funny.
Yeah.
But I mean,
Well, I mean,
you're not coming here without the boomerang anyway. Let's be honest.
No, you're not. And that's the thing too, Warwick, because the letter was so late. You ain't coming here without rank. You're not dipping it.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Like, there was back in season 1, Scrub season 1, the async the async qualifier for that one was really dumb. I full cleared it last location. My mirror shield that was on the boomerang chest that was unhinted.
That's gross. That's really bad.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
It tripped up everybody, so it wasn't like I was the only one. The thing was, is I had it open really early. I was thinking, oh, like there's only one check. What would be the reason I would ever go here?
Right. That's why that trips so many people up. Right. And there's the Din's fire. So
What
Jason
do you
probably
do,
gonna
Jason?
definitely set up the shortcut. But I
He
mean, at
has
this
for
point,
win, so he doesn't have to.
does he have it set anywhere?
I don't think
Yeah,
he
that's good.
does. So I mean, the question,
Maybe he wants to keep it for Shadow, probably.
like, yeah, the other thing too is the fact that like, I don't like I've never really known Jason too much to take like too many risks on leaving or orphaning orphaning things, which is why like it kind of like surprised me that he didn't check Gruta Fortress, but it looks like he is gonna go ahead and just dip out of fire.
Yep, gonna go straight into Shadow now. Now now it's interesting to see if Jason decides to full clear, looking for his hammer on from Song of Storms. I mean, we could be in for a marathon here.
Like the thing is like Shadow is way the hero, right? Fire is not.
Right.
So because of that, like I could see the whole thing of like, because Jason's very much in that mentality of, always full clear your way to heroes. Like he's always had that mentality. So I could see it. I could see him full clearing Jabu, all to find nothing, and then grab storms and then go well. I
Go
could
straight
see
to the well.
100% I could see him doing that. Will that happen? Hopefully not. Is it going to happen? Most likely.
It really just comes down to, like, our runners are going to play towards density, which is the correct play, right? That's what you would do. So they're going to have castle available to them. They're going to, particularly for T's case, if he decides to full clear the rest of Shadow, they'll have storms available to them too. So it's just unfortunate item placement that really would have simplified things quite a bit, but alas, they're still making logical plays towards density at the end of the day.
For sure. It's like I said, yeah, it's not unheard of, and you hate to see it that that these runners are going to get probably baited into that, right?
Mm-hmm.
The other thing too is like I'm surprised T did not figure out where their save location was, or their spawn location was for adult.
Yeah.
Oh, clean Baronade of all.
That was- Yeah,
Very
nice.
nicely done.
You love to see it.
Very satisfying boss to do quickly.
They might even go ice, by the way, when they turn in the ladder, because then they have a bottle as well.
I know that's also on the table too. Like there are so many checks. The entire video game, I guess, is probably the best way of saying it, available to both of them after this.
Yeah, because Hammer is like DMC Fairy, Hammer Rocks,
Yeah.
Luke Fire, Highest Goron, and Wolf.
And Mirror Shield unlocks even less. So
It's 2 checks from Mirror Shield.
yeah. All right. Out of Jabu, let's see what T does.
Play Nocturne. You can do it.
I don't think he's gonna play Nocturne.
Check
It
the
is the fastest way.
Oh yeah, for going back adult, right?
And he still has to. He can still go Child Spirit.
Yeah, that's
will
right.
go Child Spirit because he was
Knowing that it's required, yeah, you absolutely do Spirit.
But he will only do the first 2 checks because he has fire first.
Yeah.
But then still, playing Nocturne is the fastest way to go adult.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep. From there, Nocturne's the fastest.
Yeah, I mean, even still, like he'll still have to do the child side stuff, like, or at least he'll check the child side stuff as adult.
Yeah, he will
right?
only do two checks here. He should
Well, no,
only do 2
yeah,
checks.
yeah, I know he's gonna only do it as I know he's not gonna do like the full thing of child. I'm saying he's still gonna have to do child side regardless, right?
Well, he still has to go through the rest of Spirit, yeah.
Yeah, as I'm saying, he has to do all of it, even if he's doing child side as adult. Is what I was meaning.
That gold scale probably making Jason scratch his head a little bit here because he hasn't teased lap dive yet.
Right, but
still decided to go on.
And yeah, Jason's I know would be very hesitant about that because it's like there's nothing really pointing at Lake Hylia, right?
No, not at all. And it's such an awful area of the video game to get to right now without Serenade.
Yeah.
Ooh. Got for the shield.
Doesn't matter shield to shield from this point.
Yeah, shield doesn't really help much.
Pretty irrelevant. Yeah, that shield's pretty relevant, I agree. At this point. It's like it's just like I said, it's just pretty much a wild goose chase. There, like this is a real betting man's game right now. Like,
yeah, I mean
we're
pretty confident that T is at least going to be in the zip code of the Mirror Shield immediately after these last 2 checks in Child Spirit. Now it's just a matter of hopping into the grave. He's gonna have Dins equipped for it.
For sure. But again, it just comes another question: does he do it, or does he just beeline it straight for that Ganon's, thinking that it might be what?
There are a lot of adult checks available. There's so much available. I can see the desire to go. All right, adult spirit, Ganon's castle, back to Shadow for Storms. All right, here's Nocturne.
Nocturne. You have Dims equipped. Just jump into it.
Lining it up.
No, yes.
Okay, all right.
All right.
Disaster averted.
All right. Well, I think
for
that.
T.
Yeah, I think that's gonna call it good here. Yeah, like Jason had to go get that hammer.
Yeah.
Basically right after Spirit, and he just didn't. I think that's just what's calling it here.
That is go mode for T. So just as simple as going back into Spirit, and then clearing water after that. We are clear for takeoff.
Yeah. Well, that is fairly unfortunate. I still think Jason still had a very good chance at this. Just didn't work out for him.
Yeah, that hammer was very unfortunately placed.
Yeah, I mean, it's like it reminds me of the of during season 1. My round 1 was was so silly. The fact that I was strength 2 from go mode, and my strength 2 was on Dampe digging, and we had OOT Suns, so.
Oh, that could be a really bad check to route in.
Yeah, it was. It was ultimately just a really bad check to route in, but yeah, it looks like Jason's just gonna full clear Shadow.
Your points, Loa, going to full clear the rest of it. Knew that we would find Rudos in here, and just going to continue on through the rest of Shadow Temple. Oh, taking a dive.
But yeah, unfortunately, I think Jason's just at this point is too far behind. Like if there was the whole thing of T maybe got baited into going to Ganon, so maybe Jason could have caught up.
It was interesting there for a little bit. I mean, there was a realistic possibility of T skipping that mirror shield and clearing the entire video game, but that did not happen.
And there's our minuet.
There's minuet. Oh, come on. Nice.
Yeah, like I said, I was really hoping for Jason to win this.
Yeah, well, all right, time to go back to forest to clear it. We can do it. We have minuet now.
Yep. Easy.
I heard you all like Forest Temple, and the double forest wasn't enough.
Here's Forest Temple version 2, like an electric boogaloo.
You don't sprint across high roll for 3 checks, not before a Shadow Ganon's end. Well, that's the thing, right? The placement. It really wasn't so much the placement as it was the timing of when you were in the area to do it, right? Like before those become options, you would have loved to have grabbed Hammer before like T did. And at that point, it made sense for T to do it because that was one of their highest dense areas left. You either go to Fortress, Valley, Lake, or you go to Fire. And we just had 2 different philosophies.
Yeah. I mean, the thing is like, again, I talked about, like, with the Gerudo Fortress, like, I would really like to know what Jason's thought was of, after completing Spirit, of why not going and completing, like, why not just go complete Gerudo Fortress? You're right there, right? Maybe it just didn't. Maybe it just slipped his mind. Like, it probably did.
Well, I mean, there's still the argument too that fire is progression, and you know, clearing as much as you can of fire makes a lot of sense before getting hammer. It does. The only thing is you're committing to clearing fire for checks, and you don't know where that boss key is. It could have been in the beginning loop this entire time, and you waste the entire fire clear. It's
Yeah.
risky.
It is. And then the other thing too is like you have to think about like I said, what like if you find if like you know you're right there, it's not that hard to get back over to it, right? Is what you have to think about.
Hmm.
And
Oh,
because of that, also Jason's going back child here.
yeah. To note, did not clear um
Shadow, yeah.
the entirety of Shadow, which is interesting.
Just checked up to the
Going for
five.
he might gamble on long shot or hammer in Jabu for Ganon's access for his
Yeah.
last item.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah, but like all around, it's just like the thought of like if you find hammer, all the better, right? And if you don't, you can
Mhm.
still go to fire anyway. You just wasted a little bit of time.
Yeah,
It- it-
I understand it. I definitely do.
like I said, I just want to know. I want to understand like what was Jason's thought process on that. And I'm not trying to rag on him or anything like that. I don't want anybody thinking I'm trying to rag on Jason or something. I'm not.
No, no.
I'm
I mean,
just
I think
curious.
the play definitely makes a lot of sense. Since fire's a medallion, you got to go there. It's it's
Yep.
it's definitely a good play. Just didn't work out, unfortunately. That's randomizer.
Yep. Rando gonna be Rando. At the end of the day, nothing you can do about it.
Yep, long shot was in the boomerang chest. We're in go mode on T's side. Jason's about to pick up the long shot from Jabos and would only be missing hammer at that point. So T's being able to go mode both spirit and water is pretty nice here. Bosky, I think, was fairly late. I think it's in one of the invisible chests coming up in spirit, and then we're at the mercy of the water BK.
Yep.
Still no serenade. Thank you, video game.
If the water BK is in a good position, this might actually stop free for T.
Yeah, that is still a possibility, definitely. Really, really solidly played. Yeah, chat pointing out the Din's lock fire arrows, the fire lock fire source. Classic.
Yep. Oh yeah, I think someone also put in, yeah, saying that Rando is really, really tough at a top level. Everyone has a plan until you get punched in the face. Mike
Oh yeah,
Tyson. That's
Rando
Yeah.
is just mean.
yeah, I think that's kind of what they're trying to quote on that is basically saying, it, you have a plan until just everything falls apart.
yeah. You have a plan until you don't, and that is Zooter in a nutshell. It's very, very difficult to keep track of the logic versus playing towards density
Yeah,
in 1v1 playing towards your opponent. And at the end of the day, the random is in the title of the video game. Stuff just kind of happens randomly. You know,
yeah. There's
Sometimes
also
I wonder why we like this game so much.
that's a great
that's
question.
fair.
Sometimes,
That is fair.
why do we do this to ourselves?
Just the
Why do
suffering?
we like to suffer every time again and again?
Why are we here? Just the suffering. I just need that meme like inserted right now.
Literally.
But
Hopefully, throw rope was a little bit nicer for T than they were for Jason.
for sure, hopefully. Yeah,
Oh,
but
Rova is never nice. Come on, we know this.
I know. You know,
yeah, I mean,
Well, she's actually always nice because she winks at you.
yeah,
yeah,
always.
yeah. And then tries to burn you alive or freeze you alive.
Or freeze you to death, yeah.
Yeah.
I want to say something, but I'm not gonna do it. Never mind.
Fair enough.
Some people
I-
might kill me for it.
Nice lineup here for the first hit. Nice. Well, I mean, no Serenade after this, but T does have access to Burning Cack now. Do you go back to playing Nocturne and hope that you get Serenade from there? I guess it's either Serenade or Prelude, right?
Yes.
So either one's going to be pretty useful.
River just hinted Segway.
Yeah, so no,
Sorry, Speed Racer.
no Song of Time lock BKs this time.
Is that your dream? To cruel the runners with a BK on the river chest?
Just force a full clear of water, no big deal.
It's sad that Teed still doesn't know about the safe warp. Because if he gets Serenade from Burning Cack, he could just clear water with Serenade and then safe warp back.
Safe warp back, yeah. That's a good point. Bit more shenanigan juice. That's a good way of putting it. We're all about the shenanigans and tomfoolery here.
Yeah, maybe Jason will think about that Guru Fortress is in logic. Maybe when he maybe he'll think about it that it is in logic when he gets the long shot. Maybe.
It should know, but Epona is in logic as well, so.
Right. I mean, he should, but I'm just saying maybe he just forgot.
But then again, would you really go to Fortress over Ganon's Castle and Rest of Shadow, which will put you into well?
Definitely
It's
not.
2 checks against 20.
I mean, yeah, I know.
That's
I'm just
our
saying
fault.
maybe you'll think about it, right? I just thought.
No, I get it. I mean, it's,
So,
it's a calculated risk, I think, at the end of the day to choose fire over Fortress.
Slowly Zook Ninja, nothing in Ganas, nothing in GTG, nothing in well, nothing in ice.
Yeah, this was a pretty nuts seed, all things considered, with how much how many dead item dense areas there are still left to go, and the answer from Jason's perspective is just out in the fortress. You got to be kidding me. That's awful.
yeah.
We did have an oops AD because every dungeon beside Forest had progression.
All right. Let's go. Well, I'm pretty sure that's not very accurate. It's gonna be at least 65%.
The seed had some nonsense. There's no question about that. So Troll Rope it down onto the Burning Cack song. Either one's going to be useful for T.
Okay, that's even worse.
We're going the wrong way, Butler.
Slightly up again.
Hey, there's Serenade. That was probably best case for T at this point. All right.
If you only knew about the safe
There
warp.
we
There we go.
go.
That's more like it.
Come on, T, sub 3 this. You can do it.
We are now at the mercy of the water BK.
Yeah, I think I would have been mildly annoyed if that was ended up being Prelude.
I would have been too, yeah, because you have to go, you have to ride your horse all the way down here. Warwick River Chest was hinted dead. So
Nah, it's gonna be Compass Chest. It's gonna be first check he does.
First check.
I mean,
We
if
don't
it's
have it.
first check, you know.
We don't have any intel on water other than the fact that River Chest is dead. Then
Yeah.
Darklink. All right, I had a feeling that's where we were going to go next.
Yeah. So I mean, if it's compass chest, this could comfortably sub 3.
Yeah, I think so.
He has about 9 minutes to spare in Water Temple for sub 3. 8.
Yeah. I don't know. Like, I mean, Ganon. Okay, these guys are really trolling.
The old Stingray's not leaving T alone here.
He doesn't know the save verb, so he has to get opponent to hike the field. And then it's 6-7 minutes for Ganon's castle till Ganon. Oh, bottle.
Nice bot.
Let's go, Ice.
Now's the time, dude.
Rush ice.
If there was ever a time, it would be now.
Rush
When
Ice to get
when you're-
Prelude.
When you're in go mode. Ooh, big brain strats.
Oh, you know, there was definitely one other meme we missed here. You know, when like obviously when Jason didn't go to Fortress, we all should have just pressed X, so we could press X to Jason.
Well,
I didn't even think about that.
good point. Well, I mean, no better time than the present, I suppose.
That's true.
That's not a BK.
There's a small key, the wrong key. We keep going. Yeah, at least this is winners and not losers. So at the end of the day, Jason's gonna have an extremely uphill battle at this point. Regardless, neither of these runners are going to be eliminated. We're still going to see them again for at least one more match.
For sure. I mean, I still think Jason still very much has a chance at winning. As I talked about before, I think all of these brackets are pretty balanced. Mostly people are pretty much within like 100 points of each other, which pretty much means that they all pretty close to the same level. So whether they're strong in one suit, whereas the other person might be stronger in another, like they're all equally as they're all equally as possible to win the tournament, in my opinion.
For sure, yeah. Like there are no freebie matchups in any of these brackets, which is part of the reason that they're so much fun to watch. Is that anything can happen.
Rando's gonna random in the end.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, when you have there might be some logic, and obviously there's some there's some ideology behind it. At the end of the day, it still is random, and when you deal with the tournament about RNG, sometimes people just win because they just guessed correctly. Sorry about the dog.
Never apologize to Puppo.
Not in BK. So we have Eye Target, Dragon Chest, Central Pillar, and Darklink left.
The BK is eluding us thus far. Yes, shout out to our sponsor, Raid Shadow Temple.
What? I thought London Milk was our sponsor.
We can have multiple sponsors. You know, the Lon Milk just doesn't have the same screen time, you know? Ooh, unfortunately, getting a little bit too close to comfort on Baronade here. Oh, nice recovery,
Nice
though.
save.
That's really, really difficult. Well done. interesting bit of water routing here. Knowing that River is dead, still opting to save it for after the Dark Link loop.
I like this routing in water.
Yeah, I mean the nice thing about doing water is that there's a lot of different ways to route it based on where you are in the seed and whether you're still clearing for items and whatnot. This definitely makes sense. All right, while we're kind of waiting on the final stages of this race to conclude, one more real quick round of shout outs. Uh, Shout outs to our runners for putting on the show for us. Please go follow T and Jason if you haven't already. The trackers, of course. Thanks again to Chuckles and Emily for tracking and keeping everything on track, for lack of a better term. And shout out once again to my fellow co-com Sloa and TJ. Thanks again for joining me. It's been a blast.
And also thanks to you, of course.
Appreciate it. And before, I'd be remiss if we didn't mention the chat. Thanks for watching, everybody. Chloe, you want to take this one?
You.
I'm sorry. I had to step away for a second. Wait.
Oh, the thanks for the chat for watching today. If you wanted to shout out the chat at all.
Oh yeah, of course. I always want to give big shout outs to the chat because you guys are always amazing and supportive. And if you guys also would like to try and do what we do, whether it's the commentating, tracking, or even restreaming, you can also join into the Discord. And we have plenty of forms that you can fill out to be able to try this out yourself. It's not. I mean, it sounds intimidating. It seems like it is intimidating. I assure you, it's not. And it's a lot of fun. And oftentimes, this stuff is pretty much not done if we don't have people to do restreaming or commentating or even tracking. So it also helps us a lot.
For sure. And we finally have the water BK. It's in the central bow target area thing. So we got that. On to kick Morpho's butt.
I think sub 3 is going to be really tough, but possible.
Gonna be tight. I think not having Prelude and not knowing that the save warp is there might be the difference.
That save warp is going to bite him in the ass here.
Yeah. So yeah, like Jason's pretty much following what he believes is possibly the way to heroes here.
Yeah, and got the gold scale from Shadow too. Just wants to tie up that loose end.
Yeah, makes sense.
Just confirm for yourself.
Which makes sense again. Yeah. So the question again. No, sorry. When does he? I mean, I don't think he's going to Gerda Fortress. And again, obviously,
he is going to Ganon's Castle.
He's going to Ganon's Castle 100%. Yeah. So.
And then probably back to Shadow, and then back into the well.
Yeah.
Yeah. Unfortunately, that hammer is just in the worst possible location for Jason right now.
For sure.
Ooh, the fish was on the hook and she got out.
It's so annoying when like that happens, and it's like because it can happen very awkwardly, right? And
shout outs to Morpho's hitbox.
Yeah,
it's really a wonder.
It's ridiculous how easy it is to mess it up.
Little far from the door for the door strats.
As much as I always like to joke around and say this is the easiest boss in the game, sometimes it just trolls you like this and it's ridiculous. It's very tilting.
What hitbox? Good question.
What this was a crazy match in my opinion all around, no matter how you look at it.
Oh yeah, absolutely. This was a lot of fun to watch and commentate over because of all of the different the different logical quirks and the storms on AD and literally everything in the entire game being dead except for very very specific specs. It's it's been fun. It's
Yeah,
been a good match.
I agree.
All
It's
right.
been super close. Besides those path checks, T just happened to check his earlier than Jason did.
I honestly, if the 50-50 for fire versus fortress after spirit for Jason went the other way, this would be extremely close.
Yeah, this would be absolutely extremely close. I think this was like close all the way up to the point where like T remembered about the remembered about the check. Like, and then it kind of swayed into T's favor at that point because Jason just didn't go grab the hammer from Gruta Fortress when he had the chance.
And sadly, T is going to miss his sub free.
Yeah, just a little bit because you still gotta
305
do the
ish.
climb. Yeah,
Yeah,
you
no,
gotta climb. Yeah,
gotta get the BK as
unfortunate.
well. No save warp check, sadly.
You think he would have? I mean, I guess he just doesn't want to risk it at this point. That makes sense. With
I guess I guess it's kind of the thing. Like, all right, well, what's the worst thing that can happen from checking it now? You're in a terrible location and you do exactly what T just did, right? You play
right?
Nocturne and you walk. I guess
Yeah,
at some point, and I've done this a lot of times too. Sometimes you just never check. You forget. Like you're so caught up in going to where you want to go that yeah, you just don't check your save warps.
I like checking save warps if you have a way out of it. And they
Yeah.
did have Bolero and Hookshot, so
Yeah. It's nice information to get earlier if you can help it. If there's a way that you could warp out, and if you're in kind of a terrible spawn. All right, Ganon's boss key get on to the castle. Meanwhile, on Jason's side, going to full clear that market wath by the looks of it. Finally getting a look at pose.
yeah. Again, this is kind of like definitely. I would say a I think this is like kind of like what I would say one of Jason's flaws is the fact that he can be a little bit too thorough on his watts, which is why I was kind of shocked that he actually did skip out on clearing out Shadow.
Yeah, it's interesting that despite Storms being on AD, neither of them seem to have really paid much of any mind to it, despite having two of the three stones basically for free in Deku and DC. Pretty interesting. It worked out though.
Yeah, for sure. Um, so I guess while we wait for T to go ahead and finish this up, like as you guys know, I'm when I'm on comms, I like to ask the chat some questions. So I want to ask the chat the my usual question I usually like asking. What is you guys' favorite Zelda dungeon? Like just from the entire series. It doesn't have to specifically be OOT.
Oh, that's a tough question.
Um, and I'll give mine my usual answer, which is um, Snow Peak Mansion from Twilight Princess, because Twilight Princess is my favorite game. I love that dungeon because I think it's great.
You got some supports for Snow Peak as well.
Hey,
Solid choice.
it is a very solid choice in my opinion. Agent Cistern, that's a pretty good one. I
Turns
haven't
also
played
nice.
I haven't played too much of Skyward Sword, but I've watched speedruns of it.
Cistern just for the boss. That's fair.
Yeah, I mean, like that's honestly, I'll be quite honest. Like Twilight Princess is probably is my favorite because it's got a good story. I will agree that it has a bit of flaws,
Hey, nothing's ever perfect.
Yep. I mean, even OT has flaws, right? And it's considered one of the best games in the world.
OT is a flawless video game, not a single coding errors or
It's
overlooked
all
mechanic.
working as intended.
It
Completely.
just works.
They're all special features.
Just special features. But so like all around, like I said, I'm not really
Jason is on his horse. He might go to to Fortress after this.
maybe.
Hmm.
Interesting that he's doing this before going to Ganon's. Or is he gonna? Oh, he's gonna do water, of course.
Oh yeah, of
Clear
course.
water
You
here.
can pull clear water. Yeah.
Guys, our light arrows are in Kakariko Village. Did we pick those up? Oh crap.
Oh no. Quick,
Tell
quick.
chickens,
The chickens.
no.
Arbiter's Ground's another good choice too.
Oh yeah, I love Arbiter's Grounds. I love all the dungeons. I think in my opinion, Twilight Princess has like the best dungeons in the series. Like I
Pretty
don't
fair
think it has.
assessment, I'd say. Yeah.
Yeah, don't. I feel like it doesn't have necessarily any bad dungeons per se.
No,
Like
Georg, lights were on adult Anju.
I said, even Snow Peak Mansion, like I said, like the one that it's like when typically that's like
Oh
known
no,
to
T forgot to jump slash.
Ooh, that
rip.
was that a 0 damage phase 1?
I
I
don't
did.
know.
I did.
Ooh.
That sucks.
At least you got a long shot for this.
And Jason got the glitch on the fish. That's unfortunate.
You should use BGS here.
It's just setting up the jump slash is the thing. If you go in without doing any slash, that was a 0 damage round 1.
He did
Ooh.
0 damage. That's sad.
Yeah.
And at least you get a freebie on this light arrow hit.
Not the
There you
worst.
That's
go.
rough.
Dwarf
That's
down.
rough. But he got him.
Yep. So, Chad, are there any questions you'd like to have for our runners? Hopefully, they'll be able to join us for an interview out when this wraps up. Please feel free to put them in the chat, and we'll relay them.
For sure.
All I want to know is why T didn't check his safe word.
Let's say in Lake Bed Temple sucks. What do you mean, Splits? Like that was the best water temple out of the entire series. And that's not saying much, I guess, but
Even if you do 0 damage stabs on Dorf, you still damage his cape, though. Really, that's lore I didn't know. That's
he
funny.
he never looks. It's easy to skip a check if you don't see the check.
oh,
Did
Stone
we
Tower
mention?
Temple.
Oh, Stone Tower. Yeah, we went this far without mentioning Stone Tower. Huh.
Yeah, Stone Tower Temple is a solid dungeon in my opinion. It's probably the best one out of Majora's Mask in my personal opinion. I do feel like Great Bay is one that gets a lot of hate more than it deserves in my opinion. But I also feel like Water Temple also kind of gets a lot of hate more than it
Classic
deserves.
Water Temple hate. Yeah. Huh.
He did
Yeah, I
miss
feel
it, Devin, when the first time he walked upriver. The second time he saw it, he didn't pick it up, but the first time he missed it.
Yeah. I think the thing about Stone Tower Temple is the fact that it's really well designed on how it just has like a part one and a part two
Cool.
all around. Yeah. I agree that Woodfall and Snowhead are kind of meh. And then, like I said, Great Bay, like a lot of people just hate on it just because it's a water temple, and I feel like a lot of people just kind of get vibes of, water temple from OOT.
All right, everybody, get your GGs out for T. About to polish off the pig. And take this winner's bracket round 1 match. Yep, there we go. Third tries
There it is.
the charm.
Yep.
GGs.
GG. See you, good.
302, 50, not bad.
Really, really solid showing.
For sure. And So Jason is going to stop here.
Yep, there's the forfeit coming out from Jason's side. GG's to both of them.
All right, we'll see if we can get both these runners in for an interview.
He will be joining us for an interview, but we'll go to the toilet first. And that what I would say is
Understandable.
well deserved.
Yes. Well deserved, indeed.
Definitely.
Do we have any confirmation on Jason?
It does not look like it yet. Although I guess he could just pop in whenever he wants.
Yeah, he can. But we still need to make sure he wants to do an interview.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess while we're waiting on to do our interviews, do we know who these two amazing runners are going to be going up against?
I can open up the challenge to see if we know that. And this one. This is the Requiem. T doesn't know yet because Xinjia and Siberian are playing Saturday,
Okay.
and the winner of that will face T. And Jason doesn't know either because the loser will
Play
play.
against balance.
I know you know. You will be fine.
But I guess again, just to fill in some more.
And we have
looks like we.
T incoming. Welcome, welcome, and good game.
You're currently muted, T. I don't. If you'd like to unmute yourself.
Yep. GG's.
There we go. GG's, T.
And we also have
Jeez.
Jason or Jarson
Oh
Bot.
boy.
Carson Bot.
Welcome in.
GG's to Jason.
GG's,
Also
Jason.
You are
muted.
also muted. Yeah, you are also muted.
Whew. That magic on Bombshell Bowling saved my ass.
Yeah.
You didn't see the one in River, did you? The first.
No, I didn't. When I went there to do Jabu, I was like, oh shit. Thank God there was one on Bombshell Bowling.
Sure. I do have one question I would like to ask Jason once he unmutes.
I can see him in the chat. Would you just prefer to type this out, Jason, or I'm just
Oh, he's
showing you
just
the chat
saying-
right now? Okay.
Okay.
All right.
I mean, the only thing I really want to ask Jason. So, after Spear, what was your thoughts on just going straight to straight to Fire Temple instead of just going to Gerudo Fortress?
For context, Jason, the hammer that you were looking for was on HBA.
I was going to say that after, but
Sorry.
Oh no, you were missing that? Oof.
Yeah.
After I beat Forest and found that Zarias on in the Colossus, I was like, okay, the magic has to be somewhere else. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna reverse and get that Gerudo Fortress done.
That's good logic thinking there.
yeah, Jason said he's deciding to check some dungeon progression instead. That was the only reason. That's fair.
That makes also a lot of sense.
Yeah, it makes
Fire
100%
was a lot more
sense.
dense.
Yeah.
So did Jason find the magic in river early or
No,
No.
also on
also
True
no?
Bowling.
Okay.
Say
Also
one.
And immediately found it after as well. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was really unfortunate. Because the thing was like, I don't you like gunned it straight past gunned it straight past the graveyard composer grave, and we saw you do that. We're like, no, he's gonna miss the mirror shield. I mean, thankfully you went back to it, but
Yeah. I was like, oh yeah, I have magic now, and it didn't. Let's go.
yeah, we
Let's do that
really.
really quick.
Yeah, we were just like really looking at that. And we were just like, man, this is a really close one because it's like it just comes down to who Papega's harder. Like,
There was a bit of there was a moment there where we were all kind of worried because Jason had gone to fire before getting the hammer from HBA, and then you had gone back child without getting the mirror shield from Composer's Grave. So we were both kind of sitting there like, well, once they're done, they have the entirety of Castle. They'll have the well and all the storms checks. They'll have Ice Cavern. It could be a while before somebody finds that missing piece of the puzzle for them. Fortunately, you went immediately back to Composer's Grave after Jabu.
Yeah, I wouldn't have known what to do after. I'd probably go to the Ganon's. I think I had 4 meds at that point.
Yeah. What was your fifth mat? So you would only
Yeah.
have Spirit left.
Yeah, there was.
So I already saw you going to Ganon's and then back to Shadow, get your storms going to the well.
Yeah, thankfully I never thought about that. I was like, I continued a bit after I got the Rudolph's Ladder and Shadows to have at least Pharaoh's Wind before the boat if I have to go back. I was like, okay, I could have just went out. I don't think I needed to continue in Shadow. Because I had like what? Jabu as Wave the Hero still and Market. No, Market.
Market was.
What was
clear,
the other
yeah.
one? Yeah, Market was good. One other.
No, you only had Jabu
I
left.
mean, at that point, it was Shadow and Jabu with 3 items to go. So you find
Yeah.
Rudo in Shadow, and then Long Shot in Jabu, and the rest of the game at that point is open for Mirror.
Yeah. And in that case, it was really lucky for me that after I went out of Shadow. Wait, no, it was one of the times I had to hike towards age changing. Yeah,
You're going back adult. That's what it was. Like we were expecting, and we were hoping that we would find that you would go back to Composer's Grave after either finishing Shadow or on the way to Jabu or anything like that. And then when you booked it straight to Jabu after that, we were like, this could potentially be pretty bad.
Yeah, at that point I'm gonna rush my Way of the Hero, and since I didn't have a prelude, I had to go to the graveyard so many times. I was like, okay, I'm gonna do it at one point.
Why didn't you check your adult save spawn?
I thought about that too. I have no
because
idea.
It is OGC. It's actually
It is
Market.
OGC. Nice.
Yeah.
Okay.
The idea is I could definitely see you following that route.
Oh yeah,
way more checks than 2 checks in Fortress.
And we were kind of saying this too along the way, like that hammer and mirror shield placement is kind of ridiculous considering all of the checks that you had available to you once you're done with Jabu, just to find either hammer or mirror. It's just the entire world is open, and we had Baron hinted GTG, Baron Castle, Baron Ice, Baron Well. There was just nothing between all of those checks.
Yeah, that's true.
It was pretty nuts, honestly.
Yeah, it was a pretty decent PB for me too. I think my best time
only
so
check
far.
your save spawn. You could have sub 3T.
Oh
you
yeah,
were
true.
so close to your
Damn
sub 3.
Congrats on the PB.
Oh well. Yeah, thank you.
So
by like 20 minutes too.
Nice. Solid. Very solid PB. So I have just one question about when you found the OOT hint for Storms. And you realize Storms is on AD and your stones are Deku DC and Wath Shadow. What do you think?
I was like, okay, if I find all the items for Shadow really early, then I'm going for it. But since everything was blocked by so hard by each other, I was like, okay, no, this is not gonna be it.
Yeah, and we were kind of saying in comms, like when we got the hints, like, okay, well, I mean, you just have to hard commit to all dungeons, right? Because this is this stone layout's ridiculous. But
That's true.
as the seed went along, and you were correct in letting the items dictate whether or not you were going to do all dungeons.
Yeah, I didn't want to shoehorn myself into doing AD if possible.
Dins, the hammer, and the mirror shield were just evil.
Oh, the Dins was evil. I was considering doing Volvagia right then and there when I found the BK.
But also, why didn't you just continue in fight the first time you went in? Because you were not hammer locked. You had your 2 keys.
Yeah, but I didn't have I had like 6 hearts and no bottle. I was like, I'm not gonna bother.
6 hearts is technically enough.
Yeah, maybe technically, but I was like, nah. Nah.
Fair enough. Yeah, fair enough. I thought you had more hearts.
That was my nope. I'm just not gonna
Can't
do it.
remember how many hearts you had.
Yeah, it's like 5, 6, or 7, something around that. That was basically the only reason. I was like, okay, I don't know if that's in logic right now. It's like, meh.
I think
This is gonna be
lava
close
room is
either
never
way.
in logic without the tunic.
That's true.
Or a wallet to buy a tunic.
Where was that wallet that was hinted?
Volvagia or treasure chest minigame.
Treasure chest game.
Treasure chest game minigame, yeah, exactly.
And the
So
other one
that
was on
would have been in logic then.
with the magic on
With
river.
With the magic on Bombshell Bowling and the yeah.
Not the one in river?
They didn't
either one.
You can get either.
Either one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm pretty happy with my routing.
Understandable.
I don't think
It was very item heavy.
Very thorough.
Yeah.
But very item heavy as well.
Yeah, what was it?
Very excellently played.
Deku into Lost Woods. Oh god, I just already can't remember.
Deku, Lost Woods.
Lon.
Into DC. No, I went into DC first. That's right, because I found the 20. We got the 20 skull, the 20 bomb shoes in Midosaurus. In Foolish Kokiri Forest.
So Deku, Lost Woods, Goron City, Kak, Lon.
Yeah.
Well, field into Lon into field, Valley Lake field.
Yeah.
Back to.
Yeah, 40 minutes, child 1. Not too bad. Found a lot of stuff.
Absolutely.
Very lucrative child 1.
Of course.
I
love that. The last hint I went for, like when I went up the river as adult, I found the last foolish hint and was like, okay, I'm not gonna check any more hints, and then I went for the one in Colossus anyway.
Nice. Yeah, you always do that.
Yeah. No, yeah, that foolish GTG was a double-edged sword for sure. You love seeing the GTG as foolish, but the fact that hammer was on HBA makes that one of the worst.
Actually, that foolish GTG made me go Fortress even harder, actually. Because I was like, okay, there is no way I'm gonna go here any other place and time and place. So I'm playing Requiem and reversing. And just do that right then and there. Then it's done. And then I skipped past Valley Rocks. I was like, oh shit.
You did notice that. Yeah, we were saying that as you were diving down, we're like, nah.
Yeah. I basically noticed when I went down too. It's like, okay. Oh well.
Yeah,
let's just continue. I'll keep it in mind, but
the check doesn't exist.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, that is an interesting way of thinking about it too. It's like, all right, well, now that I know GTG is Baron, if I don't do Fortress now, I will never do it.
Exactly. Yeah.
So how are both of you feeling about the rest of the bracket so far? Do you move on to round 2 winners and Jason gets knocked into losers 1? How are you both feeling after this match?
I'm feeling pretty well. I'm feeling pretty good. I don't even know who. Oh yeah, my opponent would be Kissinja, exactly right. If she wins.
Siberian.
Or Siberian. So either way, a German versus German match.
It'd be pretty hype.
Yeah.
So my question always is, again, the Scrubs is always about learning and improving, and that's always our kind of goal. Do you feel like there's something you could take away and improve and learn from this?
I feel like I autopiloted at some point where I was like the Hammer Rocks, for example. But other than that, I was playing pretty consciously. Other than that,
You can be really proud of how you're playing. Your execution was really good.
Yeah.
Point.
Yeah,
It was
very much
really,
agree.
really good.
I have seen more matches, and this was really one of your best matches ever.
For
I
sure.
felt like it too. Like against the comparing it against the qualifiers, that was no contest. I was playing way better. Yeah.
I mean, the only thing I would note is maybe like you said, you did the autopiloting kind of thing. I was like, something I noticed that was kind of a big thing was, you did kind of seemed like you did kind of tunnel on things a few times. Like for example, like we talked about, you walked up past the composer grave when you could have checked it a little bit sooner, been in go mode a little bit sooner. There was also you walked past Gerudo Valley Rocks.
Yeah, when because the composer grave thing, I was always thinking about something else and not. I didn't really think about that check at that moment. So I probably need to be a bit more mindful even. Because I could have done that all the time. Like even that time I went there and got it, I could have went past it because I could have forgotten it. And if I would have found my save point, I might have actually done it.
Yeah,
So
definitely
it was
always-
basically luck. To be fair.
Well, that's randomizer for me.
That
There's
is
definitely
really
always some areas to improve upon, but this was excellently played by both of you. Very entertaining.
For sure.
And Jason, yeah, minimal sleep was actually something I actually prepared for because I had one race a few days ago where I was like, also I slept like 2 hours and like, okay, this is not the mindset to be in when you're tired. And
We kind of had to
So I-
remember every day to sleep before his match today.
yes. I had amazing reminders. Thank you guys.
My dog is bothering me. She wants attention. I think I have, for the most part, I think that's all the questions I have. Do my co-commentators here? Do you guys have any more questions you have to ask?
I do not. I think, I think that this was very well done.
Entertaining
yeah,
shit.
thank you.
Well played, both of you. GGT. GG Jason.
Yeah, and GG Jason, exactly.
Well, to be honest, like this run was really awesome, and I'm hoping that we see a revenge match in either the losers finals or in the grand finals. So I'm,
that would
I'm
be
really
hype.
looking forward to it.
That would be hype. All right, thanks for having me.
Thanks for
And
racing.
And
And thanks
GG's.
for playing.
Thank you.
Then let's take a look at the schedule on what games we have coming up. At first, we have tomorrow a match against Scorpius Final Gambit versus Ivanero at 10 a.m. ET or 2 p.m. GMT. After that, next one is Sloa the Demon versus Dark Link.
I wonder who that slow the demon guy is.
I have no idea. 11 a.m. and ET and 3 p.m. GMT. What do you think about that match, by the way? Are you prepared? Or hyped?
Yeah, that one
I'm
seems like it's
asking
a
you as
pretty
the
hyped one.
runner.
Oh, for the Saladin versus Saladin versus Darkling.
Yeah.
I'm pretty excited for it. I don't really know too much about Darkling, so it'll be a fun surprise, I think. I know a lot of people have Darkling pretty one of the favored runners to win next to Bleeding Blue, so it'll be interesting.
Nice, and we wish the best of luck to you, and of course to Darklink too, to not have any favorite. And also, the 21st of September, we have Pizzarific versus KP3 at 5:30 p.m. Eastern Time and 9:30 GMT. And then the 23rd of September, we have a match between Tenyu3 and Khan Maple. And that match is at 12 p.m. Eastern Time and 4 p.m. GMT. And make sure to check out the Season 3 race announcement channels for links to watching those races. And I want to do a big shout out to our racers this day. TeaGrenadier and Jason. And to our trackers, who has done a phenomenal job, Chuckless501 and Emily Kitty. And also the biggest of thanks to our commentators, TJ One Shot and Slower the Demon. Thank you for...
And thanks Andals for restreaming and VXR for modding.
And
of course, to viewers like you, thank you.
yeah, of course.
Cannot forget the viewers.
Without
There
you
it is.
viewers,
Let's go.
it would have been nothing. And if you haven't, joined the Discord and take a peek at the volunteer channel and see if you want to help out, because this is super fun. And I can really recommend doing that. Do you guys have any final words to the audience?
Definitely join into the Discord. You know, even if this is your first time seeing this, this is a great community, and there's always season 4 to join in on.
Yeah,
There's
feel free
always
to hang
season
out with
4.
us.
And as you said, since this always season 4, and as we are a group who wants to help newer people, and if you want to start playing, make sure to go in there and ask for help, and everyone will be delighted to help you. With that, we will be cutting the stream, and see you again next time. Bye bye!
Bye, everyone.
Take it easy.
And as the end, we will send you off to one of our commentators. In a raid, we are going over to Deadly Thunder.